Yeah. Ma'am, can we start?
Yeah.
One second. Okay, so we are live now. A warm welcome and good morning, everyone. AIS Design Olympiad will start now.
Okay.
AIS Design Olympiad.
And your voice is cracking, madam. Your voice is not coming.
Started in 29. Hello. Can you?
In between, we are losing you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay. Now am I audible to everyone?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, Anuja, please carry on.
Okay. A warm welcome and good morning. AIS Design Olympiad started in 2019 as an initiative by Asahi India Glass Limited to provide a platform to budding architects so that they can showcase their design skills to the top architects in the industry. Today we are here for the 4th edition of AIS Design Olympiad. This year, over 1,100 students participated in this competition. The students are from architectural background from 120 colleges across India. In India, we have a tropical climate that faces challenges linked with the high temperature and increased cooling needs. This year's participants' target is to develop best practices to deploying energy efficient and cost-effective comfortable building while addressing challenges related to climate change and responsibly reducing energy loads while improving thermal comfort. This year's AIS Design Olympiad's aim is to bring innovative design element with the right product solution and develop energy efficient building design proposal. We receive impressive submissions across India for regional round. Today we have top 10 teams as a finalist from West Zone in the regional jury round. These teams will be presenting their work and competing in the respective regional round to make it to the national jury. I would like to welcome all attendees and wish luck to the finalist team of the West Zone of 4th edition of AIS Design Olympiad. Today with us, we have prominent architect as a jury panel member. I would like to introduce. Today also we have AIS management team to welcome all of them. We have architect Qutub Mandviwala is the principal architect and founder of MQA, Mandviwala Qutub and Associates, an international award-winning architectural firm, urban and interior designing, headquartered in Mumbai. Amongst many national and international recognition, he is proud recipient of Bharat Gaurav Award in Outstanding Contribution to National Development, Bharatiya Nirman Ratan Award for Globalization of Indian Industry and Work Peace and India Pacific International Award for Best Mixed Use Development. We are honored to have you, sir. Architect Rahul is the second jury member. He is a renowned architect in the industry and with decades of experience, he worked in various projects typologies such as residential, commercial, hospitality, industrial, institutional, and mixed use across vertical of master planning and architecture, interior, and landscape design. We are really proud to have you, sir. Over 18 years of experience in architecture, architect Anshul Gujarathi is her multidisciplinary approach to give building design and promote sustainability. With over 310 projects, her firm Eco Solution is one of the country's leading firm practicing environmental architecture. It has they have received prestigious MEDA award state level and award organized by Government of Maharashtra for last 4 years. We're really proud to have you, ma'am. So with we'll start with the presentation. We are honored to have elite jury panel members today who have renowned work in their particular field and successful practice. They will be judging you on the presentation and mentor you with the expert suggestion as we proceed. Now I'll call upon a stage Team 1, Shub Porwal and team from Parul University. Yeah, ma'am.
Anuja, just give a second to introduce Soni and Danish who are with us today to the honorary jury member.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry. Today we have Danish Khan, institutional sales head for West Zone.
Good morning, ma'am, and welcome
all the jury members. We are honored to have you here. Without taking much of time, all the best students. Give your best and, best. Let the best team go to the national round. Thank you, everyone.
Ma'am, we'll go ahead with the team one.
Sony, I think, is also there. Sony, you're there, right?
Yeah. So good morning, everybody. So I have seen this event growing in size and in prominence in the last 4 years. So one thing I would like to assure, the topics are selected, which is like the tropical as well as actually the sustainability, mixing both, which is a relevant problem for the industry. And I can assure you that the learnings which is coming from this particular event, from the business side, we will be very keen to incorporate into the real product as well as developments and solutions. And again, once again, thank you for the jury members, Qutub, Rahul and Anshul, for being part of this, and all the best to all the participants. We'll meet you again towards the end. Thank you.
Yes, Anuja.
Thank you. Yeah,
Let's
thank you,
start
sir.
with the
I request all jury panel member to open their evaluation sheet, and once the presentation is done for each team, you'll be able to give marks or evaluate each project. I hope the evaluation sheet is open and active in front of you, sir. And ma'am? For the reference, I'm again sending that mail. I call team 1, Shub Porwal, and team from Parul University of Architecture to present their project. Shub?
Sure. Yes.
Yeah, go ahead. All the very best. You have 10 minutes to present.
Ma'am, my screen is visible.
Yes.
Good morning, respected jury members. Myself, Shub Parwar, currently pursuing architecture from Parul Institute of Architecture and Research from Baroda, which is in West Zone. And my team member is Ajay Kumar. And the typology we have selected is educational. So moving further, this is me, the project director, and my friend Ajay Kumar, who has helped me in presentation part. So in typology of education, I have decided to take a university building of my own campus, Parul Institute. So the content of the presentation is like project introduction. What is the project in the typology education, and then the design goals, then programmatic analysis, further concept design and drawings. So it was like a project is introduced, like creating designing a university building, which comes under the education typology for our campus, Parul, and we have to take care of the context over here, the site, surrounding and landscapes. Also, the major aspect was of the program related to it. So we have to incorporate all the program in that single building. Second, the material and sustainability, how glass can be used and other things, materials. So, and at last, it should have a character of institute, as it is in the premises of an institute, as a group of institutes. So the design goals was, the motive was like we have started from thinking like sustainable design, how what is the aim of how to design a sustainable which provide comfort to the users. So glass has been used as a transparent element, or which have been used at such a place that two spaces fuses between it, and the external building envelope is an steel frame structure with panels with with panels of sustainable material and photovoltaic glass to create its own energy, so that it developed its own electricity by its own. Then the building has its own architecture terms in terms of creating spaces which create interaction among the users. So three parameters I have taken in consideration while designing this building, which will be in the further slides. So site analysis. So basically this red is the site boundary in the premises, and the total site was like large, but educational built-up area was like 3,800, and the total built-up area, including the other library, was 1,500. So in this, we have, in site analysis, we have studied about how the wind flow and sun direction is in the particular city, Vadodara, and the orientation of building have been decided according to it. Also the site entry, the feasibility of the road, how it is connected to the site, also all the levels of the build surroundings. Moving further to concept design. Concept, these are some conceptual diagram based on function plus form. So as I told earlier that according to the wind flow, the orientation of site is over diagonal axis, and the first diagram shows the ground coverage. This is the ground coverage of the whole education university block plus library block. And in that, I have added addition of Fluent platforms. Then stage 2 is that the red part is the build mass of the education university building. And in third stage, we can see that there is an addition of the auditorium. So it basically all the blocks have their own character of inclined sloping roofs, which are fused according to the program. Like if it is an educational building, so how we can create different platforms so that different masses or volumes can be fused, that it acts as an one body, but it has its own different character. So in stage for the addition of the library block is mentioned in the red. This part is the library. Then major is the gathering space. Then which is the red. The Kund part is the gathering space, and this is the it is in a semi-transparent covering, which act as a transparency between build masses. So also I have treated a landscape like ramps were added as a landscape feature which go along with my design form. Further, these are the main three stages, 2D diagrams in which how the orientation building, then creating different platforms of different grain size, and highlighting the central plaza that
Last 2 minutes. Shubh.
Then moving to the programmatic analysis, the type of spaces are interactive spaces and working and gathering spaces are required. Then arrangement of program, vertical and horizontal arrangement was taken care of. Then program description is the university building, auditorium and library blocks are highlighted. The left side is the red is the education building. Then floor plans and section. The floor plan the ground layout, then which this is the main point, and all the entries are provided from here. These are the different layouts, different levels. Moving to the section, the inclined sloping canopies in the section of different, and the elevations in which glass and both material have been used. Panels. This is the exploded view in which the structure and panels have been described. These are some physical model views in which we have tried to give an it and character. This is the louver design which have been used in this side on the north and south facade according to the direction of the light. The sustainable idea is that when roof we have used skylights, minimum dimension of skylights to gain this type of details have been provided, so the air and ventilation can be taken out, and mezzanine floors have been introduced so that interaction can take place. So this is the main gathering space of the pond, where all the people gather, and this canopy is like fused between solid masses, which act as a transparent element, and glass as an element. Material can be used like glass tubes. These are the views of the. This is the west elevation, and these are the perspective views. These are all the entry points. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, I now request jury members to give marks, or if there is any feedback, they can discuss. Rahul sir? Anshul ma'am?
Anuja, tell you.
So if there is any feedback you can provide, or evaluation sheet is active, you can provide marks.
All right, thank you.
Anshul ma'am? Qutub sir? Shreya? Roshan Matthew? Roshan Matthew and team, you would be the next. Huh?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'll let you know. I'll call your team.
No, ma'am, you're not audible. No, ma'am, you're not audible.
Yeah, due to network issue, I think Qutub sir is disconnected. He is rejoining it.
I can't hear what they are talking.
Sir, can you hear? Are you audible?
Yeah, now you're audible.
Okay. So sir, we are done with the first presentation. We
I
request you
missed
to
out on the first one. I couldn't see much. I just saw the concept sheet where the orientation was put at a diagonal. So I didn't get a chance to get into the detail because we got disconnected. I don't know if the question answers are done. I'm not sure. So If I just wanted, if I have an opportunity, can I just ask him Shubh one question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure, sir.
Shubh, I understand the site is a very linear north-south site kind of a thing. So I understand you have used photovoltaic glasses and you have used sustainable materials to make the development more sustainable. I didn't get a chance to look at the orientation of the buildings, but were you able to maximize the north-south orientation to keep it a little more natural and because I suppose this project is in Baroda, and Baroda is quite a hot and airy climate, So
Yes.
were you able to work around the natural resources besides using all the other elements to make it more sustainable?
Yes, sir. Sir, actually, in roof detail, I have added skylights to gain because it is an inclined sloping canopy. So the use was that only that more natural light can come, but in a diffuse manner. So in between two panels, I have used an glass so that it cut out the harsh sunlight and the diffuse light can come inside.
No, but I didn't get a chance to see what was the orientation of your classrooms and the studios. So what was the orientation? Were you able to use the basic orientation to work around the sustainability? And that was one question. And I have no idea on what is the surrounding area. And you had written in your initial concept scheme that you had made it contextual to the surrounding. So I just wanted to understand that what was the how and you had tried to make it contextual to the surrounding area which is there and the existing buildings which are there.
Sir, surrounding contextual in means that I have used the material as an factor, but it is an main building, so I have tried to give it an iconic look. So that's why the shape of the building, the form is little different. But
Can you just show me just one last slide of your view of something for me to do the marking?
Sure, sir.
I'm sorry I'm taking a little more time because I missed out on the main presentation. Can you just show me one slide of your last screen or whatever it is?
Okay, sir. So is it visible?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, and sir, this was the sustainable nature, air, and ventilation.
Okay.
Slide in which I mentioned that these are the red ones are the skylights, and the blue ones can be the panels, solid panels, or solar plates or photovoltaics glass light.
Facing towards the south side. Okay. Okay. Okay, sure. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, you can, the evaluation sheet is active. If you want, you can give marks now.
So we have to do it online or we have to?
So the sheet is active online.
Okay.
You can do the marking.
Okay.
Due to network issue, maybe Anshul ma'am is not able to speak or provide feedback. So she provided direct message to me about this. By brief to the team, her brief to the team is this seems to be a smart design approach, but tend to miss out the environmental aspect in totality. Also, few solar passive aspects can be highlighted, but overall the approach was good.
Thank you.
Okay, now I call second team from Thakur School of Architecture, Roshan Matthew, and her team members. Yeah, all the very best, Roshan, and you have 10 minutes to present.
I hope the screen is visible.
Yes, your screen is visible, you're audible.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. We are team number 2 from the West Zone. I am Roshan Matthews, and I and my team are here to present our design project on the topic of healthcare named Niramaya. Healthcare is one of the most vital aspects of human life, and failure in promoting it ends up severely damaging the economy. The private and the public health sector mainly differ when it comes to the quality of spaces, efficiency, and cost. While the former provides both quality of spaces and efficiency at high cost, the latter provides less of either at low cost, thus creating a push and pull effect on the majority of the Indian population. This, along with the scarcity of healthcare centers in many areas, creates a gap in healthcare equality among the people of our nation. Despite being told that this gap would be filled for 75 years, the words have yet not been taken into action. And it's time to take a step forward in bridging this gap. We found the site with the aid of Niti Aayog Health Index 2021, which led us to Uttar Pradesh and then to Prayagraj. Despite being one of the most populous city, this city has the most deteriorated health infrastructure. Thus, we chose this site in this city. And it lies in the composite climate with annual temperature as high as 40 degrees Celsius and as low as 25 degrees Celsius. Annual rainfall in this city amounts to approximately 930 millimeter, and relative humidity ranges from 29% to 81%. The predominant wind direction is from northwest. The site is located near Alam Hospital in the north and Majidia Islamia Inter College in the west. Our concept, Panch Mahabhuta, is a part of the Indian philosophy that our great ancestors believed in. It further leads to the narrative of all is one, one is all, as in human body as a part of the universe consists of all things that constitute in the universe, namely the five elements: sky, air, fire, water, and earth. We have implemented this in the zoning of the departments in our healthcare institute. These are the main departments in the polyclinic. Each of these are segregated in their respective elemental zone because of the understanding of how each element relates to the respective departments in some way or the other. For example, how the element of earth refers to stability and solidity, and the psychology department relates to the want of stability, or how the calmness of air relates to need of it in the spaces like ICU and MRI units. Now it's over to you, Sakshi.
Yes, so the design strategies that we have used in our design are connectivity, sustainability, and biophilia. Within sustainability, we have used both the active and passive strategies. Within passive design, we have placed the longer facades of the building along north-south side for natural daylight, applied cool roof to the terrace for reflecting excess heat from solar rays, and double pane low E glass as well as cavity walls to reduce heat loss. Within active design, we have used solar panels for generation of electricity for the heavy machinery and kinetic tiles, which creates an interesting design element, as well as provide for the indoor lighting, fans, etc. Visual connectivity from the indoor circulation space to the courtyard and vice versa is seen and is achieved using the AIS clear floor glass throughout the boundary of the courtyard as windows and glazing. Biophilia is applied to the facade that connects to the OPDs and acts as natural air purifiers, turning carbon dioxide into oxygen, so increasing the amount of plant life in an environment and improves air quality. The use of glass and brick together creates a clear contrast in the appearance of the facade. and addition of a photochromatic film on the AIS EcoSense Exceed glass wherever the windows are cuts the need of blinds down as the glass transitions with respect to the intensity of light and creates a favorable environment with it. Metal connectors are used to hold together 4 glazing panes. Then there are glazing to the walls joinery and glazing door and glass door in detail. So these are the floor plans and terrace plan, and then the views and sections. Here in the section, the design strategy of connectivity is visible with the use of AIS clear float glass, allowing perception from the inside to the out and vice versa. That's it. Thank you.
Hi, Roshan and Sakshi and team for your presentation. I didn't see any concept sheet. You're architects. I need a concept at the beginning. I don't see any concept. I don't see any first sheet where your sketch is there. What is your building? How is your plan? How is your master plan? What is your entry, exit? Where is your courtyard? I didn't see any concept from you. I just saw a lot of technical data and a lot of glass being used here and there, but I didn't see. There was a lot of talk on biophilic architecture, but I didn't see any relation in reference to the with drawings. I would have more appreciated if I had a concept sheet showing what I'm doing. And you talked about the orientation, but I didn't see it much in the drawings.
So the biophilia, we had actually used it in the facade. So it is accessible.
Madam, I didn't see any, I don't see a concept. I need to see a concept. You're an architect. I first need to see a concept. What is your concept for the design?
So our concept is actually punch mark.
On the drawings, but all that on relation. See, those are theories which are fine. I understand the 5 elements of nature and everything. But that relation back, it's not easy to relate those things back to the drawings and to your design. So how have you related that? What was your idea? How it is there in the plan, where it is coming, how are my functions? It's a healthcare. Healthcare has got a certain pattern of circulation. It has got a certain hierarchy of circulation. I didn't see anything like that. I just saw a lot of talks on these things, technical things with double walls and passive cooling and fine X quality of glass with photovoltaic glass and films on it. Everything was very kind of a technical for me. I didn't see an architecture presentation. Sorry.
So I think Roshan and team, I think you guys put up an interesting presentation. Just taking forward from your last conversation with Mr. Mandviwala, I think you all started off fairly interestingly well, but it eventually needs to translate into a build form which is understandable and has a sense of circulation, etc. So I think that transition also needs to happen beyond the ideas, which I think were put across well in terms of data and thought process. But the next leg of the endeavor of design is to actually convert things into a build form and explore the build form methods. I think you guys should focus on that a bit more the next time.
Yes, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Wow, for a change, yes. So, hello everyone. And so I'm speaking here for the first time on this forum. So officially, hello to Qutub sir and Mr. Rahul as well. And I feel this particular design, you guys really kicked off very well. And, I was really looking forward to something coming up I mean, something really out of the box thing. But I would like to second Qutub sir and Rahul sir here that, probably the expectations were really taken to a good level, and then suddenly there was nothing to actually comment upon. So I feel you guys can really explore this. And so I think your focus was glass. And as I read the brief as well, which was given to you all, I feel थोड़ा सा आपको और technically जाना चाहिए, and architectural drawings were majorly missing. I mean, you really built up our expectations, and then we were like, oh, a bit lost about it. So, but overall, I think it was a good attempt. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, jury members, for the feedback. They can give marks, evaluate the project. Next team is Sakhi Baheti from JJ School of Architecture.
Yes. Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, hi. Yes, you're audible. I'll just allow one minute to start. Allow evaluation sheet is ready. Who is here? Qutub sir, we would request you to provide marks to last presentation.
Anuja and team, I would just like to confirm if it's going well with me.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you.
Ma'am, should we start sharing a screen?
Yeah, you can start.
Hello, my name is Ankita Advardante and my team member is Sakhi Bharti. We are from Soji College of Architecture from West Zone, and our topic is hospitality architecture. Good morning to everyone and all. So we'll start. So we have chosen business hotel as a hospitality project for a design competition. Starting with the project introduction. The project is a 5-star business hotel, and the site is located in Bandra Kurla complex, which is in Mumbai. The spaces are designed accordingly by keeping the user group and its human psychology in mind and creating the amenities for them. The site area is around 7,000 square meter. The number of rooms are achieved at 270, and the number of floors are G+30. So, site is Bandra Kurla complex, and the site, out of all the sites, we chose a corner plot. The corner plot had a few plus points to it, such as it had a flyover in front, green recreational spaces in front and the back as well. Since the site is at the edge of BKC, it was one of the plus points because its connectivity from the railway stations was near. Also, it served as a hotel for the other business or the other office buildings nearby it. As it is a corner site, so it is facing two of its facades on the road.
Why BKC? As we all know that BKC being the prime location, it is a prominent commercial hub. A business hotel would here be a good idea for the business travelers. Further, we have analyzed the BKC map. So after analyzing, we found that plot C14 was a relevant plot for our design. We have figured out the land using map. We see that the major chunk of BKC is commercial land, and there are few business hotels only. So proposing a business hotel here would be a good idea. After analyzing the open space mapping, we found that there are very few green areas over here. Next slide.
So talking about the climate study, the climate of Mumbai is hot and humid. The average precipitation is around 242.2 centimeter. Here is the overall view of a site and how it is facing its. It is a south-facing facade and has a east-facing facade. And this is how the sulfide diagram looks upon on our design project. So for any project to be designed, its area needs to be divided. The FSI that we have considered is 4. The percentages that we have divided for hotel rooms is 50% of the total area. Facilities, which include eating space, event space, and amenities, are 30% over here. And the services and administration 10% each. For the amenities, we have included indoor games, swimming pool, gym, yoga. The business hub includes a banquet hall, conference rooms, meeting rooms, and co-working spaces as well. We also analyzed the user group that would attend that would go to a business hotel, in which included business travelers, event attenders, boomers, millennials, Gen Z, families, and health travelers as well. The design goals were to create a user experience having sustainability, use the maximum daylighting to create collaborative and recreational spaces as well as relaxing spaces, bringing in some planters and incorporating nature and landscaping and at the end to create an energy efficient design. So now let's talk about the concept. So since this plot was a square plot, the model that we erected at the beginning was a pivotal block. We carved out the podium for the amenities and the spaces for people to interact. Further on, we created some terraces so that the different types of levels are created and different types of views are also obtained. And the above other rooms. This is the overall view of a site, and this is what we ended up at the end of the project. And thus how different types of passive techniques are incorporated while designing this project. This is the overall view of a site. This is the site plan, which is main facade is at the 30-meter wide road and an internal 18-meter wide road.
The following, while designing the overall site, users' mindset was kept in mind and the following space attributes were considered. So creating a user experience, a hospitality approach, different setting for human connections, building a luxury design, and last but not the least, we have tried making an open, bright, and welcoming experience for the user.
Moving on so it is a we have
Ankita, I guess there is
facade,
some network issue. You'll have to repeat your last line. We are not able to hear.
This one?
Yeah.
Start ground floor again.
Yeah.
Okay. For the ground floor, on the one facade of the road, we have on the ground floor we have provided all-day dining, and the shops are at the other part. The entrance happened at the corner, while the lounge opens up towards double-light space. The banquet entry has been provided at the back, and its services also happen at the back with the provision of pre-function area and the banquet hall and other lawns. The main service area happens from a 6-meter wide road, which has been provided at the back, and it goes around the periphery. So this was the overall plan of a ground floor, in which we incorporated shops, all-day dining, lounge, and a banquet area at the back with services at the back. The first floor includes mostly a restaurant, a theme restaurant, which has an outdoor seating over here, an exhibition space, salon, bar, and a staff area at the back. Here we can see a banquet hall of a double-light space. Moving further for the second floor. Second floor is a business hub, where we have a co-working space, conference rooms, meeting rooms on one side, and on the other side, here on one above the other, like we had all-day dining on ground floor. First floor we had restaurant, and here we have fine dining. Now the third floor is mainly of the podium level, where we have the swimming. All the amenities are surrounding the swimming pool. We have a cafeteria, games arena. For the fitness center, we have provided yoga, spa rooms, and a gym, which face the pool as well. And also we have provided a outdoor shower area with some outdoor sitting around the swimming pool. Room topologies.
The rooms were planned so that each one gets a view, either the city view or the other one, which is self-created, that is the swimming pool view. The rooms have different options, catering according to the need of the different users who will be staying here. Spacious lift lobbies, service rooms, and collapse sitting zones are provided on the same floor plate. As we can see, as I told, spacious lift lobbies, service rooms, and different collapse zones have been provided on the same typical floor layout.
Last 2 minutes, Sakhi.
Yes. There is a refugee area of 180 square meter provided, which is equally distant from both the ends. Coming
Based
to
with plan 1, we have provided other services which are required here. We have provided 3 basements, basement 1, 2, and 3. For the section, we have cut through the swimming pool and a double height lounge space. As we can see how the hierarchy of spaces happen from the entrance towards the back, where the service corridor has been provided with a lift shaft and service staircase. This is another section that has been cut through the banquet hall, the swimming pool, lounge, and the service floor at the below of the swimming pool. For the elevations, we have used glass as the main material and a sand finished plaster. The columns have been highlighted and the walls have been kept. We have provided fins on the top of the terrace so that its services are hidden. Here is the west elevation, southern, east elevation.
Coming to the energy efficiency, we have tried following green building initiatives. We have tried energy efficiency from site itself. The following things were tried being incorporated. That is use of solar powered devices, more use of natural light, and movement through sensor key card system, so that there is a less use in electricity consumption. Next slide. For waste management, mostly hotels, so for the plastic waste, there is a garbage compactor installed within the site, and the organic waste, which is mainly produced due to food waste, is converted into manure and used in the landscaping area. On the site surface, more landscaping is done so that it automatically reduces the temperature on site and gives a good feeling. Also, we have tried incorporating green roof and terraces. A big advantage to this is it reflects back all the solar radiations which is hitting it, and there is a cooling effect. Also, Mumbai having a
Last half minute.
large rainfall, it helps in absorbing the rain which is depositing on the terraces.
Now, at the last, we'll move on with the views. This was the view of the entrance dropper, where we have a 1 meter 2 height of the ground floor. This is the outdoor sitting of the restaurant. Another view of it. A view from the swimming pool. Another podium level view. This was the view from the 30-meter wide door, which is the north elevation. Here is the west elevation. An overall view. And thank you. Ma'am, we would like to show a small walkthrough of 30 seconds. This is the podium level view, and here we can see how there is a theme restaurant at the entrance on the first floor. We had a service floor between the rooms and the other floors that were happening below. Here we can see
Time
how
up,
plants are
Sakhi.
Yes, ma'am, sure.
Let her finish, Anuja. Let her finish the walkthrough. Let it finish.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, now I request jury members to provide their views. Qutub sir.
Hi. Thank you guys for an elaborate presentation. A lot of effort has been put in, and a lot of work has been done. Interesting to see a hospitality project in this part of Mumbai, one more. And I think we had a brilliant site, which was a corner site, very iconic site, because it had a junction of two roads. So at the concept level, I feel couple of things. One is that the kind of circulation that you have worked out at this point. I think basically it kind of there is a good decent flow. I like this slide of yours, which you showed earlier. The first slide with the green platform and the people standing on top. That was where I really got excited, and I thought this could be something very nice. I would have taken this to one more level and created a kind of a plaza at this point, which was more connected to the junction of the road. So I don't know. I'm not in the right position to say how it would have worked around with the circulation. But when I saw this slide, I really thought that you guys will come up with something where you step down. You have tried stepping it down, but you would step it down like a more kind of public space which relates down from that level and gets connected to the street. So that was one part which I thought you can still work around that and see how it can come up and make it interesting, so that if I'm passing from the road, how this how this thing gets seamless to the road rather than being like a building or a structure at that point. So one is that opportunity I thought that you could work around. The second, I felt at the concept level, you could have played with the forms of the building, okay, and you could have tried to make it iconic, because for sure there are some iconic buildings there in BKC which have been done with some so you could have explored more. You could have started with an L, but then you could have explored it and made it tried making it a more futuristic building. At least I would have tried it, making it a more futuristic building in that. At the planning level, you have put in all your facilities which are there. You just need to check your BOH, which is what we call as the back of the house areas, because I think you will need some more working on that, especially the sizes of the kitchens and the location of the pre-function in reference to the kitchen and the banquet hall. So that one part you need to see, and you also need to see the sizes of your kitchens and pantries at other levels where it is getting connected to the restaurants and the other restaurants which are there. There is some clash of circulation also where your restrooms are more towards the service areas. So the clash between public circulation and the service areas, which normally we try to keep it very segregated between the two, is something that you have for sure created a division where there is a service area on the rear side and then the public spaces are all on the front side. But I think there is still some interlacing which is happening, which could be avoided and seen in the way. It could be there. So yes. I just thought that the building could be more iconic, and you could have done something which is very, very futuristic in this. And I thought that the plaza could be more seamless to the corner road and the junction of the road. Thank you. Thank you once again for a lot of work done.
Thank you.
We'll surely keep these things in mind while designing future projects. And that's all.
Thanks, sir. Anshul ma'am.
Yes. Thank you, Anuja. I feel a very simple, clear, and straightforward approach, which is very much feasible as well. And so Qutub sir has already covered most of the comments regarding design. And I very well agree to him. The only thing which is lacking here is the architectural emblem. The building should be more iconic. and futuristic. I think that is the thing. I am glad you have included few aspects of sustainability. And the best part here was you could actually mention different areas. You were not only targeting solar passive or anything like that, but you did mention few areas with regards to waste and other things as well. Because when it comes to sustainability, it's an integrated effort,
Yes.
wherein multiple areas need to be looked at, and we cannot just focus on one thing. So I think overall a very good attempt. I'm not expecting that you guys do some excellent things with solar or anything, but whatever approach was there, at least the thought was there, and which is appreciable. I have a question to ask to you guys. Um, is this some existing design that you are redesigning, or what is the approach here? Is this an existing project or a proposed project, or how it is?
No, ma'am. It is not an existing project or a proposed project. It was a part of design for the festival.
I'm sorry,
The
Ankita, I'm not able to hear you.
The site. Okay. Hello, ma'am. Am I audible now?
Yeah.
Okay. The site over here has an existing structure, but as a part of a design project in our college, we were asked to take different sites of PKC. So this was one of the plot that we thought which will be catered to most of our needs. So this is not a proposed project, but bit of our own.
Okay, nice. And I suppose overall a very good approach. I liked it. Thank you.
Okay, sure. Thank you, ma'am.
Rahul, sir?
Yeah, I think both the jurors have covered quite a lot of ground. I actually like the fact that you all have been very realistic in your approach in terms of the selection of the site, in terms of how you all have gone about the building. Eventually, when you do land up working on a hospitality project in the future, like Mr. Mandviwala said, I think you will learn the nuances of circulation and the clashes that you may have. But at this stage, I think a very good effort. Lots to pick up from and learn from where you all have stopped right now. But I think it's a good start. I would just encourage you to kind of continue on this process, and as you move forward, don't lose the dynamism of enjoying and experimenting like you have in college. One of the biggest worries is that we don't translate dynamism of form, thought process, design when we get down to real-time designing and execution of projects. So I think that's the only thing you shouldn't tie yourselves down.
Yes, sure. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
So should I stop sharing?
Yeah. So after 3 presentations, I would like to call Architect Rahul Mehta to share his view and provide guidance to the students and address architectural students for their better future.
So I think firstly, I'll take this opportunity to thank AIS for bringing all of us together and doing this online jury process, which I think is spreading across the whole zone. So very interesting concept, trying to give everyone a sense of exposure, not only to the students, but also to people like us who are kind of tied up with our practices and get to go back to college and see what's going on. So thanks a lot for that. I think very interesting first 3 presentations, and I think the one way to look at design and one way to look at design, especially now for all of you guys who are working on these projects, is when you're working on a concept, you kind of want to also see through it to a build form. And when you're doing that, there are so many facets, be it circulation, program, commercial viabilities. A lot of these you will not see currently, a lot of these you will. It would always be good if you all can dabble in all of these verticals. It will actually make your process more interesting. And I believe all your internships happen now in the 4th year or give or take. So that also allows you all to have some level of exposure to work. So I think if you use that sort of experience you all will also be able to dig deep and see where your concepts lead to. Another thing is that we do get very excited by using materials, using various types of thoughts on sustainability, various thoughts on the way in which a particular form should evolve, or a particular typology of build form should be taken up across. It's important to go ahead and give equal importance to each of these. None of these should actually land up dictating what your final design should be. You all should keep an open mind at this point in time to actually address a lot of these concerns as you take these things forward. In the few presentations that we did see, I think you can understand that there are some interesting ideas. There are people who've gone all the way and kind of designed the whole building and shown us a walkthrough right now, and so it's very interesting as to how different minds are thinking, and I don't think there is any right or wrong. And at this stage in all of your careers, I think it's very important to understand that there is no right or wrong to design. One must feel free to explore, and platforms like these are brilliant to kind of see to it that we are kind of pushing ourselves, pushing the envelope to reinvent, see what else can be done. This is the time to see that, and then tie that back to technology that exists, materials that exists, thought processes which are there. It would be a great time for you all to actually understand what commercial viabilities mean. So it also kind of streamlines your thought processes when you all move out and actually get down and dirty to working. So I think those are things which should come into play. I would like to see a lot of play with respect to tools. When I say tools, I think all kind of softwares that we use for presentation are tools, and we should be able to use a number of tools at this point in time, and then pick our poison in saying that, okay, this is the one that I'm most comfortable with. I think that is one of the most important parts of technological upgrade that we should look at as architects, and as budding architects that all of you all are. So yeah, those are some of my thoughts. Again, thanks a lot to AIS for bringing us all on this platform. Wishing all of you all the best of luck. Let's see this happen well. Best of luck to everyone.
Thanks a lot for this wonderful words. We are delighted to, your speech is not only encouraging to the students, but for the team also. We would like to call fourth team, Gaurav Karkande from Sir JJ School of Architecture.
Good morning, ma'am.
Yeah, good morning. You can start your presentation now.
Good morning, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yes.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Gaurav Karkande and my teammate Antara Shah. We are the final year students from Sir JJ College of Architecture. And here is my team from West Zone, and we have chosen educational typology as our topic. We have Design and Institute of Management and Economics in Bandra.
Starting with the site study and climate analysis first. Here's the location plan for our site. The chosen site is in Bandra, and the area is around 11,000 square meter. And a quick next slide. Here's a quick overview for the site context. The Bandra station, bus stands, rickshaw stand are all in close proximity to the site, and the site is accessible in less than 10 minutes from the nearest local station. This is the climate overview. Next slide. Moving on to the concept and form evolution. Here are the key considerations for the design. Quality education, growth, work ethic, communication are some of the key points which we considered in our design. Creation of interactive zones, leisure spaces, and division of masses according to necessity was also the other part of the considerations. Next slide.
Here's the form evolution with the starting from the initial site boundaries. Next, part of the site which was chosen for the intervention. The grid outlines according to spaces and the site conditions offsets. Basic massing according to the climate and the site analysis. Here's the insertion of movement pathways in the complete massing which we've done. Here are some additional cutouts which we for the green spaces, and here's the final massing which we landed upon. Next slide. Here's a spatial layering for the ground floor, including the green spaces, internal pathways, recreational spaces, and co-working zones. Here's the master plan. The circulation has been divided into vehicular circulation, drop-offs, exits, and service circulation. Next slide. The pedestrian circulation has been as mentioned.
So this is the site plan with the ground floor. The entire ground floor has been divided into administration area, co-working spaces, and interactive zones, recreational activities like canteen, cafeteria, and other necessary services like staircase, washrooms, and the entry point have been denoted. I shall be further explaining the planning of each block in detail from the administration block. So this is the administration block having HR and security department consisting of cabin of HR head, separate spaces for HR staff. This block will also consist of BMS room with CCTVs, cabin for security staff, and separate locker room for the maintenance staff. Then there is a career cell and program office. This unit consists of career counselors, cabin and career guidance staff, IB coordinators, and the space for HU and storage. The main administration block is so this is the main administration block in which there is waiting area and the directors and MD's cabin with the boardroom and the reprographic center for the printing purpose. This is the admission and accounts cell in which there is admission staff room, admin head. There is waiting area for the visitors. Then there is fee collections room and account staff and strong room for the collection of money. Then there is on other hand there is a healthcare unit here and the ladies recreational area. Then there are some innovative workspaces that we have provided in our design, denoted in orange color. Then there is faculty canteen here and the students canteen with the counter and the loading unloading area. Then this is the first floor plan. The first floor plan consists of 4 lecture halls with the capacity of 120 students and the smaller classrooms with the capacity of 60 students. Library, reading hall, and study rooms are happening on the lower end of the plan, and the faculty block shown in the western side. So this is the detailed plan of the same floor. The lecture halls with the capacity of 120 students have been planned according to the requirements and are placed on the northern side of the building. The depth of the column has been utilized by creating niche that acts as a duct carrying the services throughout. These are the workshops and the exam rooms. Workshops are with smaller capacity, around 30 students have been designed in close proximity of lecture halls, and the exam rooms also act as a dual purpose room, act as a discussion room for PhD students and master students. This is faculty block. Faculty block consists of separate cabins for each one of the core faculty members, along with the separate staff common room for visiting faculties. So this is the staff room for the visiting faculties, and this block is also consist of faculty lounge, dining spaces, and for toilets for the faculty members. So this is the section which are passing through the lecture halls. We can see the lecture halls here, and above that there are classrooms that are planned. So this is the main entrance of the building, in which the staircase leads you to directly to the first floor and also to the ground floor. Hello. So this is another section which is passing through the building, in which the section is cutting through the faculty block. We can see the faculty block which are placed at the height of 3 meters, and the other floor height is 4.5 meter. The second floor plan has a similar planning to the first floor with some minor functions changing. Auditorium black has been a badminton court on the above floor, and the reading halls and a study room are further changing into smaller classroom. These are sections passing through the lecture halls and the auditorium. So on third floor plan, the larger lecture halls from the lower floor is being bifurcated into smaller classroom along with the separate discussion rooms here. And this floor also consists of indoor sports near to the auditorium block. This is fourth floor plan, which is similar to the previous one.
Here are the sections which are passing through the main entrance staircase leading up to the first floor and other lecture halls. And these are some other sections that denote the auditoriums and the sports blocks and explain the massing and voids in the entire design as well. So here we can see the reading halls and passages. And next slide. This is the basement plan. Starting from here is the sequential 3D for the entire design from the basement. Next slide. This is the ground floor, first floor, the second floor, the third floor, fourth one, and this is the terrace. We can see the skylights working. These are the views towards the front facade. Next. These are some of the semi-open spaces which have been planned. View towards the cafeteria. View for the lecture halls with 120 capacity. View for the classrooms with 30 capacity. View for the faculty cabins. This is the overview for the types of glass used and their benefits and the applications in various spaces. Next. This is just a smaller module for the working out of the services, showing the fire staircase, shaft, and the ventilation ducts. And we have this is the final view, and we have a small video to show. Here we can see the massing.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Tim. I would like to request jury members to provide their views and feedback.
Thank you for elaborate, detailed presentation on the university that you guys have planned. I think it's in Mumbai that you have done it. Two things to start with. At the again at the master plan level, I would have liked that a little initial stages of your presentation could have had a little more zoning, more clearer on what you are doing. Where is your admin areas? Where is your ancillary areas? And where are your classrooms? And why are you orienting? Why placing the classrooms there? And what is your orientation in reference to the natural light, ventilation, etc. That one thing I would have done. I would have created a nice linear courtyard which is there in the center, which is a kind of an interactive space. I would have made it a little more interesting by having a kind of an, you have done a staircase which enters directly from the ground to the first. And I would have kind of continued it as an interactive space. The staircase also has an interactive element, which could have gone to the other levels, because in institutes and these kind of places, it is when we are students, we all like to sit on these staircases. That is where we are, and especially if a staircase is a part of your courtyard and in decent weather, if the scale of the courtyard is right, so that becomes a very interactive space which is there. So since you have already taken up that grand staircase which enters directly inside, I would have somehow created a kind of some interactive staircase which would have got connected to all the levels, because it's just 4 stories. You don't need to take elevators. You can just move up and down. And these things would have created some terraces, platforms, which would have been a part of the green spaces, or kind of a passive sustainability factor could have been created at different levels. And yeah, I would have twisted the auditorium and this to angle to the road that is there, so that would have made my site plan a little more interesting. It would have broken the rigidity, because I had the opportunity of another angle which was there, which was the road which was turning at another degree. And yeah, I think a lot of effort has been put in as far as detailed drawing and everything is concerned. The last thing is the elevations. You could have done a far better job as far as the building elevations of the college institute is concerned. You could have made it more graphical. You could have made it more of a play, and you could have made it. You guys, you have learned basic design. I think you all should incorporate all this in your design, what you have done in the first year. It's not something which was done and forgotten. It is something which you can carry on at these levels, And you guys should be bold. You should just do it. You should do it with your heart. If you feel something right, you should. If you feel something good, you should do it. You should not be scared what the jury is going to ask, or whether it's how I'm going to construct it at that point of time. That can be seen. But what we expect from you is something very out of the world, very bold, very strong elements coming from you guys. You want something which is, which in a commercial practice people can't do, but you as a student can say, you can say this is an idea. And that is what we need from the next gen, which is going to come up in the next decade, out and going to be practicing. So thank you guys once again.
Sir, actually, we tried to look into more practical design in that context. That's why.
Your practical is fine. I'm not saying no, but there should be some sketches. If it's not even a design, but you can always put some sketches. I'm not saying sketches. I'm very this, but you can put sketches and say that we thought of this. So what? We thought of this. There's nothing wrong in dreaming. There's nothing wrong in thinking. You can't stop dreaming and you can't stop thinking. So thank you guys. Thank you for a great presentation. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for the detailed feedback. Anshul ma'am.
Yes. So a very good attempt, both of you, Gaurav, Antara, the team. What I would call this is a very safe design, a very safe approach to design, which is having everything, taking, leading towards safety, that nobody should catch us anywhere kind of approach. But I think, again, a simple, clear design. What I feel that such kind of designs are ideal grounds for material explorations. So I think one of the first presentations till now, what I have seen includes different types of glasses, and maybe you guys have already directed wo kahan lagenge. So I feel wo thoda aur explore kar sakte the aap log. And along with glass, what is the complementing material for that area? I mean, design wise, fine, but agar wo hota to you could have added the element of surprise, balance and other kind of adjectives that we always look forward from architects, especially the budding ones. and थोड़ा सा और exploration की जरूरत थी. And overall sustainability aspects में I did not notice anything much here, because again you had a lot of ground. थोड़ा सा even landscape part you could have explored here, talking about it. And the brief that was given to you included jargon words like net zero, sustainability, and environment, but your design is not really connecting to all of them. So I feel overall a very good attempt. Keep it up. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thanks, ma'am. Rahul sir.
So I think Gaurav and Antara, I think very interesting attempt. I like the use of your tools, the way you have shown exposed concrete, brick. All of that was nice, interesting as an approach. But guys, अभी आप लोग कॉलेज में हो, अभी निकल रहे हो, थोड़ा सा ब्रेक द शैकल्स. बाद में बिल्डिंगें जितनी कॉम्प्लिकेटेड बनानी है वो भी बनती है. You don't need to play it so safe. And गौरव, थोड़ा क्रिकेट खेलते हो तो गेट डाउन द पिच यार, थोड़ा बॉल के उधर आके मारो, छक्का वक्का मारो, क्या कर रहे हो? बाकी वेरी गुड, आई मीन गुड अटेम्प्ट यार. नाइस, गो अहेड.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Now we would like to call fifth team, Disha Marathe from Thakur School of Architecture.
Yes, ma'am.
Disha, your time starts now. Please start your presentation.
Good morning, judges and audience. We are Team 5 from Thakur School of Architecture and Planning. Our topic is Educational Institute. We would like to welcome you all to Ikshana, an educational hub taking a step towards discovering, exploring, and finding an unconventional within you.
Let us begin. Let us begin with a small poem. I sense a void around and within. I want to grasp the air, but I feel I'm drowning. I want to grow, learn, I want to dream. Then I open the book and fall asleep. To sum up the Indian education system today, masses over creativity is encouraged, putting up strong apprehensions, meaning quantity is preferred over quality. And we as designers aim to reboot the modern education system. Current scenario, as a student, we are pinned to desk for dragged long hours. Every 30 minutes, the subject changes, leaving no room for these young minds to adapt to this shift, limiting them to the books and four walls around them, which acts as an hindrance in the overall development, losing communication and commitment. Somehow, our role as a designer is failed in cutting through these stereotypes.
We at Ikshana try to build a student's strength by working on the 3 C's: communication, connectivity, and clarity. True development happens when one learns to communicate with oneself, peers, and others. The very start of it is asking doubts. We try to achieve a cohesive environment where a child feels at ease to speak his mind. Having clarity and vision thoughts enables you to enjoy the learning process. The classes are divided according to the subjects and not the standards, which gives a child an opportunity and hands-on experience. A balanced time management in and of the classroom, as a number of recreational activities are merged around the class. The shifting of class according to the subjects give them time to adapt to a new relative learning environment. Our design strategies include sustainability, innovation, and transparency.
Our site is located in Gandhinagar, Nasik, Maharashtra. Nasik is developing educational hub emerging as the fastest growing town. Around the site in the north are low height residential settlements, and other 3 sides are surrounded with the open farmlands and several habitable buildings. Nasik gets around 11 hours of sunlight and temperature ranges between 10 degrees Celsius to 37 degrees Celsius with a rainfall of varying about 500 mm to 3400 mm respectively.
A sustainable tomorrow. Shaping the future minds comes along with a responsibility of conserving the resources for future. We have incorporated various elements wherever possible to make our project sustainable. Introduction of turbine trees provide an aesthetic appearance as well as help generate energy for domestic use using wind energy. Membrane percolative surfaces help recharge groundwater as to the conventional pavements in pedestrian and lower speed vehicle areas. Solar panels as a shading device help balance the landscape lights. Use of passive design strategies to support our sustainable factors include materials with high solar reflective index to prevent from turning the building into a heat box. Simultaneously, incorporating the HVAC systems to maintain the indoor air quality as well as the temperature. Creating a photosensitive facade by using a photochromatic film in combination with the glass together, which helps since when sun rays are harsh, the glass would change its tint from clear to translucent gray, so which avoids the heat gain and puts less strain on a child's eye. The glasses used are AIS EcoSense and switch glass, which are sustainable, UV proof, and provide heat insulation as well.
Each floor caters to only one subject and is accompanied by recreation spaces with corridors connecting these spaces. A subject-oriented classroom prepares the mind for cohesive learning. Recreational gardens, sports room, art rooms, and other breakout spaces are merged within the school building.
The total site area for our project is 9,500 square meters. The students enter into a massive and welcoming entry lobby, which has play area for toddlers, a canteen at back, and sports and other activity spots oriented in north-south direction. So the sun rays don't hit directly into eyes while playing. On the west, there is bus parking provided, which has a separate entry as well, so that the pedestrians can freely use the rest of the area.
The first floor is dedicated space to canteen and collaborative spaces. Second floor is for languages, arts, crafts, and library. The third floor is dedicated for maths and recreation open spaces surrounding in and around. The fourth floor is a complete science block with labs combined within the classrooms, a computer room, and several other breakout spaces. The fifth room consists of social and political studies areas. Upon terraces, we have amphitheaters, terrace gardens, conventional areas, which can be rented for various functions and can be an alternative source of income for the school.
The building facade takes inspiration from student psychology. Don't judge a book by its cover. Each student is unique for the potential they hold within themselves. The facade is a drawn inspiration from child behavior. Every child is different and their development pattern unfolds as they explore their environment and capacity, not limiting them to the rigid lines and squares and giving them a scope to explore. Moving further, here is a section depicting the classroom activity on each floor and the views of our institute external.
Thank you all. That's all from our side.
Thank you, team. Now I would like to request jury members to provide their feedback.
Yeah, hi Disha, hi Jay, hi Sonia. Thank you for a presentation. How big is your site?
So the site area is around 9,500 square meters.
So that is nearly more than 2 acres of a site. And I don't see much of your requirements as far as the utility is concerned. So I just wanted to understand, did you guys explore any other option where rather than going to 5 stories, you could have had little more low-rise building because and more connected to the nature, and that kind of a concept, rather than going so tall. Means I don't see much reason. I don't see a very high density development to go 5-story high for a school. So did you guys ever try something different in as far as the planning was concerned?
Yes, sir. We in an initial spaces we tried the ground classrooms basically, but the only thing which was happening is each classroom was was having basically a lot of distance between themselves, which would cut upon the connectivity part of our concept. So it would also increase the carbon footprint. So instead of laying it horizontal, we decided to go vertical.
Why would it
Yes,
increase
sir.
the carbon footprint? Why is the carbon footprint going to increase? I would have had smaller courtyards or something, and I would have had a more spread out. I'm not saying fully ground floor, but a ground plus 1 or a ground plus 2 with some nice step terraces or something, which I could have explored the site in a much different way. Obviously, for sure, leaving some play areas and those kind of things, and making it more climatically sustainable in that area by taking I would have got a better scales for courtyards, because if I would be ground plus 1, my structures would be 3.6, 3.6, that's 7.2 meters as a height maximum I would require, and some 7.88 meters. Even if I got a courtyard of around 5 meters by 5 meters or 6 meters by 6 meters at every place, and that would take a lot of indirect lights into the classroom, make it connected to nature at all points of time. So then, was there any kind of thought process given to that, or it was just we want to make a building which is ground plus 5 and we explored it in that fashion?
No, sir. It was not like that. We did try a different approach to it, but the one thing which we could find a concept in was the 5-story building, because we could amalgamate, and basically our concept is when a student is inside a classroom, he is moving from one place to another. So moving him inside a building is what we find is a little safe than making him roam around in an open environment. It is we did try the courtyard point also, like making courtyard rooms in between and stuff like that, but we couldn't explore it much, and that is why we chose the building concept.
So I just want to disagree with you on this part. A child does not like to be confined into a building. A child likes to be running, wants to get connected to nature, the scale of the child also gets connected to a low-rise building much better. So with my experiences of school, I just want to put it forward that for you and me, an insect is not of interest. But for a child, that insect is of a lot of interest, which is connected to nature. The change of nature and the change of environment also plays a very big role in sense of education, which works well for the children. For sure, I think you can see it in your next time or next opportunity you can get. I personally felt that there was a great opportunity to explore this more at a low rise and connect it to nature. But otherwise, a lot of work done, detailed working done. Thank you guys, and thank you for putting your thoughts forward, and all the best for the future. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, sir. I would like to ask Anshul ma'am to share her feedback.
Yeah, thank you, Anuja. Yes, team, I feel overall a good attempt. Okay, it was good. I mean, Nashik kind of place. I'm just, reviewing your slides. So I can see that you started with a wonderful poetry, actually. Some kind of creativity. So I was looking forward to a very, very creative approach here, followed by you mentioned some preliminary analysis, followed by your proposal wherein you had 6 boxes talking about different aspects, followed by your glass, interventions and the Nashik city with some historical existing importance, and the site surrounding, I would say you highlighted it, and then suddenly your design came in. So what I found missing was the relation between all these slides and your design. Probably one missing slide, that how you are relating all these aspects to your design, I found it missing. Again, second thing you mentioned about glass, and you did not mention about any other material which is in plans for this particular project. Followed by indeed good work done, good attempt, and followed by you have a very interesting elevation that you guys are planning, but probably this needs to be worked out more, and how this is going to exactly look with that kind of height, because now we are seeing it in the elevation, but when you try seeing it from a human eye perspective, the human height, that looks a bit different. So probably that vision was missing here, because a lot of things done, and they could have really been explored to a better level, but overall a very good attempt. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Rahul sir?
So, Disha, Jay, Sonia, I must say I really did enjoy the sing-along character of the presentation and the way you all started off with the cartoon slides. I think conceptually very interesting and entertaining. I think Dr. Anshul captured very nicely that the transition from there to your build form was missing, and how that moves ahead is something that your presentation should capture. I think, Disha, you mentioned to Mr. Mandviwala that you did explore various options. And that's where I think for all of you all, it's important that what we sketch and how we arrive at a design, that journey is also important to be displayed. And how did you go through that process of elimination? So why did I do this? Why is the courtyard size like this? Why is the building so tall? Why did I not do the other option that I could have? I think that is something that we should also put across when we're displaying a concept. That kind of tells us the reasoning and the thought process that you all have gone through. I mean, why is my form like that? Why do I have those jagged lines? Right? Is it a fancy that all of you all had, or was that out of some thinking? Correct? I think if that is explained better, it'll add a lot of value to your presentation. Thanks. But other than that, I mean, nice effort, guys. Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, jury. Thanks, jury members. Now I would like to call next team from KL Tiwari College of Architecture, Om Vishwakarma.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, Om, you can start your presentation now.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, ma'am. Are we audible, ma'am? Hello?
Yeah, you're audible. Your screen is visible. Go ahead.
Okay, ma'am. So, good morning, everyone, respected jury members. So, we are from Team 6, West Zone. Basically, our team comprises of 4 members, me being Yash, Om Vishwakarma, who is the group captain, Saili Pavaskar, and Ravi Sutar. So, the project which we chose was to design to cater the hospitality category, especially a clubhouse. Okay, so basically, what's a clubhouse? A clubhouse is a perfect gated community, which within your community, where people from all age category group can come together and interact nowadays.
You'll have to close your window from Google Chrome and only you continue with the Zoom.
Ma'am, it is closed.
Yeah, now your voice is equal. Yeah, now it's okay. Go ahead.
Ma'am, should I start from?
Yes. No, you can start from. You can continue from the present slide.
Okay, so what was a clubhouse? A clubhouse is a perfect amenity within your community where people from all age category group can come together and interact nowadays. So after the pandemic, people are usually facing with the anxiety problem of socializing, which can be cured through interaction. So basically, our project is a mixture of hospitality and sports amenity both. Next slide. Next slide. Next. Okay. So speaking of the concept, creating an interactive connection not only to the humans but also to the nature was the main intention of our concept. The organic form of the project is evolved through a step-like garden form, which not only creates a connection with the nature, but it also benefits by cutting off the harmful sun rays, which is created through a sun. Okay, so the features which we incorporate to counter these measures were a line of defense. Also, we kept in mind the air ventilation, which we will further explain in our detail. So, speaking of the design goals, the sustainability of the structure was maintained through the benefits of strong wind, which are majorly coming through northwest side to ventilate the green terraces, which are attached to each levels. So the longer side of the facade was given a glass facade and which traps the maximum amount of sunlight. Also, in addition, features like line of defense and biophilic design in the interiors, which acts as a barrier for the harsh sun rays. So our design also inspires the architects to go towards the sustainable design. The ground floor is given with the bottom niche from which the air can pass through and let out through the 1 feet gap at the above wall. So providing a leisure activity as this is a clubhouse for spending a quality time, also creating job opportunities as this is a clubhouse, a lot of people working there will be required, which will eventually boost the economy of the state. So speaking of the structural features of the structure was creating a step garden. So step garden are created on each floors, which helps for the harmful sun rays to be absorbed, and also in terms of creating a cool breeze, circulating cool breeze to the structure. The non-renewable energy part was incorporating solar panels for less energy consumption at the top of the structure. Also, the landscape design is created at the south side to protect the structure from harsh sun rays and reducing the hardscape to maintain the coolness. So the waste water treatment was also provided. So basically, the wastewater treatment is basically the wastewater treatment helps in collecting the wastewater and treating it with it. So the rain harvesting was incorporated. So the site is tilted towards the harvesting channels through which the water stored further can be used to the next purposes. Also, the sustainable building materials were used. The materials like havoc colors, low energy material for the interiors like blue timber were used. So speaking of the facade, the AIS glass products were used with an interesting geometric pattern, which will be shown in the elevations for aesthetic purpose and also the overall workability of the structure. Speaking of the outdoor games, as this is a clubhouse, as I said, a mixture of sports and hospitality facilities. The outdoor place not only increases the interaction among the people, but also the north side helps as a shade from the harmful sun rays coming through.
Yes. So about the location, so sir, our site is basically located in Amravati. So about the site analysis, so our site is a corner site which is having a road connectivity from the two sides there, which is from east side and the south side. On the south side there is a main road, which is the DP road, which is like 14 meter wide, and the internal road on the east side. And the site area is around 7,480 square meter, which is 1.8 acres. So about the climate, so the Amravati falls under basically under composite climate zone, and the temperature of the Amravati, so the average temperature is around 30 degrees Celsius and may go maximum in the month of May, which is 42 degrees Celsius, and minimum in the month of December or Jan, which is 13 degrees Celsius. The average annual rainfall is 1100 2.8 centimeters, and the rainy days are 58. And the average humidity lies between 61% to 85%. Next slide. So about the SWOT analysis, and the left side, which is side, we have shown the sun path and the wind direction. So the wind basically goes from the northwest direction and the southeast direction. The major wind comes from the southeast direction. In the SWOT analysis, the strength of the slide is having the residential area around and the Delhi Public High School, and the two side road connection. The weakness is the humidity can go below 19%, and the opportunities are like creating job opportunities for the surrounding peoples, and the threat is of the main traffic. The main road is traffic road. Next slide. So this slide have the Griha pointers which we have incorporated in our sites. The few points are like low energy materials in the interior, proper lighting on the outdoor play areas, wastewater treatment, waste segregation, storage areas, and the tobacco and smoke control in on all the other pointers we have mentioned. Next slide. So this is our site plan. So basically we have used the semicircle for our site. All the site have entry from the main road, which is the DP road, and exit from the internal road. So here is the porch area to reach the site, which is below the swimming pool area. And the parking spaces you can see on the brown color, which has two-wheeler parking and the car parking. And on the back side, there is an outdoor play area on the north side. And the step gardens we have mentioned in the concept, which you can see on this. And also we have created step sittings on the outdoor area. Next slide.
So talking about the ground floor plan, so as we enter from the porch, we have provided a ramp for the specially abled people, in which we enter, we can see a big reception, which is a double-heighted space. On the above, it is a mezzanine floor. So above the multi-cuisine area and the this billiards and games room is the mezzanine floor. We can we have planned such a way that it is a parallel wall bay planning, so each and every room gets a view of the both sides and the ventilation of the two sides. And for the fire escape, we have provided two courts which has an external access to it, and the middle which leads to our podium terrace garden. Then for the mezzanine floor, this mezzanine floor connects the central lobby here and the upper, but also creates a buffer due to the levels between them. Then the family restaurant is here, and in the kitchen area, a dumb waiter is provided to connect the below kitchen area and the upper kitchen area. Then on the podium level is basically full activity area, which is a semi public zone, like activities like fitness centers, yoga centers, spa areas, and kids play areas, which they will connect to the our green terrace on the podium level. So the podium level has been done in extensive gardening, which will have a slab thickness of 1 meters, which will cater all the waterproofing and the special needs required for the extensive gardening. Then for the second floor area, this second floor area is mostly a private staff area. So from here, all the servicing of the structure will be done. And we on the right block, we have a swimming servicing area. And for that, we have provided a pump room and a water filtration unit here. For these security purposes, there is also a CCTV room. And as you mentioned, there is only two connectivity. So the site has minimum access. Then, yes, ma'am.
Time is up.
Just finish it.
Just finish this slide, and we'll ask jury members to provide their feedback.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello.
Yeah.
So talking about the elevation, you can see the shorter side elevation consists of the east and west elevation. The overall height of the structure is the 20.70 meter. So here we have customized the facade design. So the here we can see the green part is the recycled steel framing to hold the ACP and the glass, and the dark blue part consists of the AIS glass, and the white part consists of the void, which will act as a jali pattern where the sunlight can pass through. Uh, Next slide. So the longer side is the north elevation and the south elevation. The mainly the north elevation faces the road side, which is provided with a glass facade for the visual connectivity towards the road side, and the south elevation is kept mostly solid towards the private spaces. Also, south side consists of the green terraces through which the natural air and ventilation can pass through. Also, the light ventilation is achieved by creating a light of defense. Next slide. Then talking about the sections. The section AA dash. So in the key plan, we can see the section AA dash cuts mostly through the center of the structure. The ground floor consists of the central lobby with a core in elevation. Then the first floor is cutting through the spa area in which the AIS mirror has been used. Second floor is cutting through the service area where we can see the swimming sunk and pumping area for the servicing purposes. Then on the terrace floor consists of the swimming pool and the deck for the leisure activities. Here we have used the AIS mirror in the section AA dash, then in the section BB dash. So in the key plan, we can see the BB dash consists of the ground floor, which is a double height, consists of the mezzanine, creating a visual connectivity, which has the game room and the restaurant. Then in the first floor consists of the gym and the spa. Second floor is of the staff offices and the pump room. Then on the third floor consists of the guest room, hotels, and swimming in the left part.
Om and team, we'll have to wrap this up next half minute.
Okay, ma'am.
Then in the section CC dash, we have used the AIS acoustic glass TM, and on the section DD dash, we have used the AIS strong glass in railings. These are the exterior views where we can see during the afternoon, the kids' outdoor area is getting an ample amount of shade from the sun. So in the next slide, the exterior views. Here we can see the exterior views of the structure and our customized envelope of this facade.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Yes, done.
Yeah, I would like to call Qutub sir to provide feedback on this presentation.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Ravi, Shasta. I don't know how many people are there on the project, but thank you, guys. I don't know from where to start, but trapezoid star site, semicircular building. I don't see much relation with the site. I don't know in Amravati, would you want to do something like this, which is suddenly so out of sort in the overall contextual part. And for your presentation, I still don't understand the way you guys start your presentation. You all are architects. Presentation has to start with an architecture concept. You all are not, this is not a green building presentation that I see a presentation which starts with, I understand that sustainability is the key to the presentation. But starting a presentation on a reverse mode in a 10-minute presentation is not what an architect is supposed to start with. Your forte is to start with a concept and to explain what is your thought, what is your design, and what are you trying to express. Once that is done, the next should be what are your functions and why have you placed it there, and what is the reason for it, and what is the flow. Then after that comes the aesthetic part, and then for sure comes the elements of sustainability, use of context, material, and that's the flow of presentation which I expect from a final year student of architecture who's next year going to come out and start practicing. I don't understand this. I'm sorry, but this is a surprise that if you start a presentation on the reverse mode and then you move like this. I don't see any sketches. I don't see any concept schemes. I don't see any flow diagrams. I'm just saying facades, glass. I don't know, what am I seeing?
Yes, sir.
You guys need to pick up some international presentations. You all need to see. And how much of talking of all you guys, whoever is listening, you're not supposed to speak so much in your presentation. Your presentation has to talk of a concept. Your slides have to have bold, what do you call that, bullet points. And you are architects, your drawings have to speak. I'm not here to listen to everyone continuously talking. The slides have to be so expressive, limited slides. In 10 minutes, you should not have more than 12 to 15 slides. Each slide should have something which should be a matter, and the flow should be very smooth. This is my site, this is my location, this is my flow, this is my concept. If I don't understand the concept, what do I understand about your renewable energy and your step terraces and your outer, your facade and your sustainable building materials and your STP? I'm not interested to understand what your STP is all about. You can mention it that we are taking care of these things by providing water treatment, we are providing STP, we are providing this. Fair enough. You want to elaborate a little on the facade as well, if it is a part of your concept, fair. But if I don't see a design, and I don't see a concept, and I don't see a flow, and I'm seeing all secondary things up front, and then the last 1 minute is a rush on what adjacencies are there. I've not even understood your adjacencies. What do you want me to comment on it? I'm sorry. I just need someone to reassess your whole schemes and the way you guys are doing. Lot of effort. I'm not saying there's no effort. Lots of effort. Lots of effort.
Yes, sir.
Tomorrow, one of you guys will go for masters. You'll go for further studies. This is not what is going to be appreciated. Just take a step back. Look. You don't have to wear houseblinds. You all are young. You all are free. I need designs. I need concepts. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Do I add my comments?
Yes, ma'am, please.
Yeah. So 100% agreed with Qutub sir. And being a sustainability consultant and an architect, I always make it a point that first, the architectural language is well spoken. In case you want to take the other way around, your sustainability concepts should speak the language. So maybe, some element in your design which is connected to any of the strategies can be looked at or something like that. But, this typical design was very difficult for even me to grasp because I feel too much of rendering for the places where it is not required. The views were there, everything was there, but I think the presentation, the way it was presented, was not very friendly because views were very small, and most of people like us who are having specs and struggling with their eyesight at this age find it very difficult to catch the detailing part of it. So I think that was missing. Overall, good attempt. And see, it's such a nice project that you guys are actually looking at a community place which is in Amravati. So looking at the climate of that region and the vernacular importance of that place, if you could have added real good elements with respect to the regional context, I think it would have really made good sense, because हम लोग हमेशा heritage and context की जो बात करते हैं with regards to whatever heritage we have. So Amravati, probably, we never come out कि वहाँ पे क्या है. So probably that should be reflecting in this kind of area. Overall, a good attempt, but too much of rendering. That is what I feel. You have the facade also, but I think I don't know what is done to that. Is it a tree kind of effect that you wanted to give with glass? If you can just project that view,
Yes,
maybe
ma'am.
north elevations, that slide, elevation slides or view slides. So yeah, so here it's looking too much of khichdi in that region. So sometimes less rendering also makes a difference. And so facade design, you have recycled steel and all these things mentioned, but what is the exact thing you want to speak? Probably that is not getting very clear. So overall, I think a good attempt, but I think thoda presentation and time management needs to be worked out. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
So I'll just come in very quickly. I think overall, guys, I think you all have put in a lot of effort. The concern that all of us share at this point is a typical concern that I try to highlight in the few minutes that I spoke, that how we translate ideas, how we put across ideas, and how we don't get muddled with thinking what materials I want to use, how is this going to be sustainable. These are all various questions and facets that we will answer. We need to start with what we're designing, why we're designing it, what's the program that we're trying to address, what's the end outcome we're trying to achieve with this, and then we start plugging things in. Sometimes we just get too muddled with all the other peripheral activities and all the other things that we want to build in. And that confusion sort of then comes across when we put out a design. End of the day, we need to speak less and our drawings have to speak more. The brilliance of our profession is that you can work internationally and you not speak a word. Your designs and your drawings can speak for themselves. I think if all of us focus on that and try to be clear in our thought, things will be easier. Nonetheless, good attempt, guys.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Now I would like to, Om, you can stop sharing your screen. Now I would like to call architect Anshul Gujarathi on, to provide her perspective, provide her point of view for this contest and provide guidance to the students for their better future.
Thank you so much, Anuja. I think my camera needs to be on from the host side, but that's okay.
No, ma'am, you can simply start your video. After
No,
clicking on the start video, you're not able to do that?
yeah. So anyways, that's okay.
Okay.
So it's saying that host needs to do something. Anyways, so overall, I would start this way. That firstly, thanks for this opportunity. I think it was a great interaction with all these presentations till now, and I'm sure even further ones will be great. I have gone through the entries, and I really would like to mention Team AIS. The way this entire thing is organized, it's really nice and convenient for all of us, because it was very easy for us to actually yeah, I think no, I'm not able to start it. Anyways, so it was very easy for me to see the entries before today morning. I just flipped through all these entries, and I was aware how this is going to go ahead. So overall, thank you for this entire arrangement and allowing me to be a part here. Coming to the next part, my budding friends in architecture, you guys are lucky. You have so many tools with you, and when you are doing your designs, there is nobody to actually tear them, and you have to redo it, and you have just to save as and go ahead with it. And that is how you are given this tool to actually explore so many options here. In terms of application, you can just apply things and see, acha ye nahi acha lagta hai, try this color. Many things you can try. But friends, it is really, really important for all of you to understand one very basic thing, that I have modified my career from architecture to environmental architecture, and later on focusing on green buildings. But that absolutely doesn't mean I am not an architect anymore. Doesn't mean that. So, what is sustainability? It is not a choice for any architect. If you are doing a good design in terms of your design functionality, your climate response, your approach, if the design is absolutely well done, it has to be sustainable. So it comes by default. And sustainability is not a choice, but it's an outcome as a part of your design. What strategies you are applying in solar or any other part, what you independently term under sustainability, doesn't really make sense, because sustainability has only two parameters: either it is passive parameters or active parameters, and they are all externally done. So when you have your solar passive design already in place, you are taking care of almost 40% of sustainability. And remaining active part, यहाँ fan लगाना है, AC लगाना है, fins लगाना है, light shelves लगाना है, या exhaust or whatever you want to add it as a strategy, that comes under active part in a later stage. But definitely, as an architect, you have the responsibility to include, or I would say integrate, all the stakeholders. You have to first listen to client, the investors, and then the electrical part, the mechanical person, landscape, or plumbing, whatever. Everybody demands their space, and the demand comes to you because you have to respond as an architect. And with all these things, the client brief, if you ask, he will say whatever this is what I want. But along with that, as an architect, aesthetics are important and innovations, and हमको कुछ अलग चाहिए. The project has to look different and nice, but in this particular cost. So when we talk of sustainability, my friends, we are actually talking of your responsibility to environment in design stage as well as operational stage. We are talking of the social aspects, taking care of the end user and all stakeholders. And the third most important part, the cost or the economics. Again, the cost goes in the first cost kind of thing, and also the operational cost. So whenever you are taking an attempt to design, make sure that sustainability is dealt in a very, very proper sense with proper understanding, and not just taking some Google references and acha ye building ne ye kiya, so let us do that. It will not help you. So you need to have firstly proper knowledge, and second, most importantly, integration. If any one strategy fails, the building fails to be sustainable. I hope I'm clear in my thoughts, and I'm able to convey what I really wish to. And to all my young friends, this is a real good attempt you guys are doing, and I wish you all the very best for your future. And the last thing I would like to add for AIS is, we as consultants, we are always looking for the right product, and by holding such competitions, you guys are exploring what best can come out. And the right innovation part, I like the part of innovation that is there in the sheet, because it gives a different vision to the students as well as us professionals, that what else could have been done. I'm so glad to see that Qutub sir is trying to intervene and say to the students that if I would have done this, I would have done it in this particular fashion. So he's actually getting into the design as well. And I think Rahul sir is also collating things very, very nicely, and he did mention a very good message to all of you. I think what you really need to understand and venture before stepping in this professional world is try make things that are actually feasible, acceptable, and sustainable. I hope I'm able to convey my thoughts with this. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, ma'am. It's been real pleasure to sit through and witness your speech. It's been great learning for every participant to listen you. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Now I call up next team, Team 7, Mayank Poker from Parul Institute of Architecture and Research, to present their project.
Yes, ma'am. Hello.
Yeah, you can start your presentation now.
Okay, so hello, we are Team 7 from West Zone. Myself, Mayank Pokar, and my team member is Noah Patala. I'm the leader. We both are from third year architecture students from Parul Institute of Architecture, Vadodara, Gujarat. For educational building typology, we have chose to design university building and admin block for the Parul University campus itself. These are the contents that we have added in this PPT. About project brief, as I said, we are designing an administration block for the university campus. So we decided to design an admin block that serves not only functionally but also act as an iconic building that is the center of attraction. As looking at the expansion of the university, about its aesthetical or its attraction features, we have thought to make it a little bit iconic. Then about the design goals, we took care about sustainability practice such as indoor air quality, appropriate natural ventilation, diffuse daylight, energy efficiency. Also incorporated some innovative use of glasses in the structure or windows as well. We have used the concept of biophilic architecture because the most of the functions are workstation and offices. We chose to use this concept to connect users inside with nature to promote their well-being and quality of work. These are some programmatic analysis chart that we have made initially, because to analyze the program before is very much essential. We have categorized all the function into 4 categories. One is university officials, another is HR, account, and student sections. There is an exam section, and there is an amenities, which is more kind of a informal space. So overall to that, there are the total area is 8,000 square meter. If we add 30% circulation, it total built up area is 10,400 square meter. Then talking about the location, as I said, we have chose site within our campus itself so that we can go there understand the context and climate better. We know about the footfall and user group comes here. So the university is located in the Vadodara, Gujarat state, and the climate of the Vadodara is very hot and dry. There, on the right side, there is a site analysis chart. We can see that the red portion is our site, which is easily accessible from the main road. There are parking areas in brown color, very near to the site. White blocks are institutional blocks, and pink blocks are hostel block. There is a very small canal on one side of the site, which is this one. If I talk about climatic analysis, north is upwards. So look, in reference to that, we have shown the sun path from east to west. Blue arrow shows the wind direction. The total site area is 8,990 square meter, and we have tried to use approx 40% of ground coverage. On the right side, there are existing site condition photographs. One is from classroom beside the building, and there is an entrance. Talking about the concept, we have added glass dome at the center to relate, like glass has a transparency and purity feature. So to relate it with the education system, like education should be transparent, pure. To relate it with that, we have added a large glass dome at the center. And then for outer shell, we have used the concept of, like, we have used context and climate as a core function, like how context and climate is itself shapes the building. So the first we came up with a possible build volume after leaving margin. Then we tilted it toward the north side to gain maximum diffused daylight. There is the institute beside, very near to the existing site, but to allow maximum ventilation to that side, we have chamfered its edges so that ventilation becomes easier and circulation becomes very easier. Then we have added floors at the terraces format, and at the center we have created an atrium which is connected with the dome, which is very important in our design, which gives us daylight, ventilation, and then another interactive spaces. Below there are some initial sketches that we made. As I said before, we have categorized them into 4 categories. One is university officials, which requires maximum privacy, and also footfall will be less compared to others. And then there are a student section which will have maximum footfall, whereas they require a little less privacy compared to other officials. So we have arranged function vertically in reference to privacy and footfall. More private functions are above, and more footfall functions are below side. Then we have used glass as a focus material. All the interior walls and landscaping has been done in reference to the glass dome. Maximum use, and inside the glass we have arranged such functions which has a maximum footfall and which are used very frequently. The dome structure is kept separated from the outer shell, which is supported through 2 shear walls. And other than on the right side, we have given the circulation pattern, like how we use any admin building from reception to waiting room to student section and so on. These are our ground floor. We have given ramp for the access, taking care of handicapped persons. This is the part of dome area. In that
Mayank
we have
and team,
added. Yes,
you
ma'am.
have more last 2 minutes to wrap this presentation.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. There are student section, HR department in this side. On the right side, we have given exploded isometric, which gives clear indication of how this connection on the vertically. And auditorium is at the basement, which is connected with the amphitheater, which acts as a buffer space or waiting space for the persons there. There are green spaces inside the workstation following biophilic architecture concept. Same as on the upper floors. There is a atrium area. These are the sections. We can see how the terraces are created at the backside. Interacting spaces has been created internally. Parametric wooden louvers used at the front facade, grooves on the back side, that I have covered here. Atrium becomes a welcoming part of natural daylight, which allows natural ventilation from below, warm air releases from top. Glass as a reflective material will reflect the daylight into the internal areas, which will lighten up. This is the view from outside. Wooden louvers will stop the direct natural gain light. High textured wall surface will help to reduce heat gain. North facade is kept open to welcome natural daylight. There are some of the views. This is back north elevation view. This is the view from internally, the view of atrium. Again, the amphitheater view from at the back side. This is the physical model photograph which we made to understand the space and scale better through physical model, and a very short video of our model photograph. We made a sectional model to understand the internal spaces, how the interaction has been done inside, and how dome affecting the outer shell. That's it. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Mayank.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mayank, for a nice architecture presentation. Okay, interesting. So you took certain things under the ground, that is the auditorium, and certain functions you kept it above, and you created this icon. You try to create this iconic structure which is there.
Yes, sir.
What would have happened if you had not taken anything above and you had tried to take maximum things inside with some lower courtyards or something like that?
So that is for
when you see that photograph from your classroom or from your poster or a classroom which shows that green space which is there, you showed a slide of a photograph of the existing site. So if you can just go to that slide, which is there.
Yes.
That's That's a very interesting slide which is there. And the scale of the buildings which are there, one side is the hostel and one side is the classroom which is there.
Yes.
So for sure, I like the idea of going underground for the auditorium. I just thought that I'm not sure how much functions are there to be accommodated inside, but if we had kind of try to maintain the green as much as the green, and except for the entrances and which the certain courtyards and the amphitheater that you created, which is very interesting, and that amphitheater and a grand staircase getting connected to the auditorium down, a nice sprawling spiral staircase, which is also a part of the landscape, which would have gone down, and we could have created some courtyard which was open to sky and all the admin facilities. Considering Baroda, where the climatic conditions are very hot and dry, and the courtyards would have worked very well. So and creating something on top which is nice, which is interesting, but in reference to the two buildings which are on the two sides, it's very foreign. It's very foreign. Those buildings are very subdued. They don't have any style of architecture. They're very kind of an organic development which they have come up with. They're just the basic buildings which are there. And suddenly I'm making something which is, very foreign to the whole thing which is coming in between. So at a contextual level, since you had already attempted to go down in the courtyard, I just thought that if you can give a thought on it and see that if everything goes down, it's just like the Louvre in Paris, that we had these classical buildings, and I decided that I'm not going to come up, I'm going to go down and make it. I'm just going to have the pyramids on top which are there. So the plaza and the green space and the sense of space and the feel for the students as an ground continues, but I still get a place to come in. I get a place to move down, and I get a place. A similar project of this kind, I'm not sure, is there. I think in Singapore. I don't remember the project, but the whole thing has been taken down like this. There's a nice spiral staircase, and everything has been placed inside, and the top has got just the green mounds and the green field which is there. But overall, a nice attempt, a good thing. I like as a building, if it was not in this space, and if it was at a junction of a road or a prominent road, and it was kind of an iconic building, a parametric attempt is good. The attempts on the facades is good. The line of presentation is good. And the overall thought process is good. The only thing is, I would have slightly gone one step ahead and seen if I could have accommodated this inside this.
Yes, sir.
Otherwise,
So can I answer some? Can I answer?
yeah.
So you talk. So you talk about surrounding buildings, like this is the classroom building and this is the hostel building. The reason behind giving outer shell concrete and the dome is the glass is that from outer side, I don't want users to feel like there is something dome structure inside. From outside they should feel like, okay, the materiality is the same, this is the conventional building, like something like that. But when you enter into the building, goes down, you feel like, you come up with the surprises, okay, this is something different from the surrounding. And if you also, sir, if you have noticed, then on the ground floor I have given minimum space so that open spaces creates more, and functional spaces are less. So that was the reason behind.
I understand that. Only thing is, when I'm talking of two buildings on the two sides, and then I'm suddenly talking of parametric architecture in the center, there's a different language, and you're coming up with a very iconic building which is there in the center. So I'm not discounting the design what you have done, nor am I discounting the effort that is put into parametric architecture. I'm just relating it to the two buildings on the side, and I'm relating to the sense of space which is there in the center. Which is there.
Right.
So and since you made an attempt to go inside, I like that concept of going inside. So I thought that, if it could have gone one step further and seen that what happens if everything was inside, and then everything was worked on, so that the overall landscape remained as it is. You would have given the institute the green space back, which is there, which is very important for the institute. And still you would have accommodated the functions, and still you would have got something very creative inside this.
Right, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So friends, talking about your design, I really liked it. And 2-3 things that I would like to highlight here. Can you just go to the slide where you have daylight and ventilation?
Yes, ma'am.
So a very simple concept that you are definitely using glass and trying to reflect it in the inner areas. It's a separate question that how this will happen, how much light will go or whatever that comes next. But the attempt here is very nicely done, and you're actually trying to explore what best can be done with architectural design plus material. And probably this is what I was expecting in the designs here. The second thing, if you just go to the next slide, you have, this particular part. So a simple sketch, which is there showing grooves on concrete and how the direct sunlight is not reaching the wall. And just, a sort of buffer is created with these grooves. I think the thoughts are really nice and well done design. If you would have gone one step ahead and added things like underground tunnel for cooling or something like that, which is a strategy with environment and sustainability, what we call. So that would have been cherry on cake. Rest, I think everything is very nicely done. I like the shape of the building, the overall aspects of greenery where you have added the things. And I mean, if I just visualize, walking through that space, it would be real fun. And I don't mind telling you that making such an iconic building, you should always try and add a different icon. Like, we have in Chandigarh, the hand is there, and a space is
Yes.
defined with the hand. So
Yes.
probably in such a case, in such a setting, if that type of thing would have been added, not the hand, of course, but some designed element, I think that would be excellent. But overall, very good design, very good attempt. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
So Mayank and team, I think very nice job. I think we've been waiting for seeing some sketches for a while. So very happy to see some sketches there. Good job, and I think a good amount of thought process has gone in onto the facade and the slide that we see right now. Simple question. What prompted you in your initial design process to go subterranean? What were the few points that made you all go down?
For going underground, right?
Yes.
So the thing is that auditorium is the space we used very often, like not very frequent, but at the same time the footfall will be very high there when there is the function any. So I thought it should be easily accessible. At the same time, it should not disturb other functions. That's why I thought I should connect it with the amphitheater, so that amphitheater will become a buffer zone or waiting zone whenever the function inside happening there. So that was the reason I thought to go underground for specifically at auditorium.
Can you go back to your plan for this?
Yes, sir. Okay, so this is the ground floor, sir. From here, we enter to the stage of amphitheater, and from there, we have access to the auditorium. So this is the seating. We have a very narrow passage outside, so that when someone wants to go for a washroom, they don't go in front of the other people. There is the backstage also here. So this is like we have access to the auditorium.
And can you go back to your section cutting across?
Yes, sir.
Correct. So I'm entering from the left hand side, and then I'm coming down.
Yes, sir. Yes. And sir, if I talk about structure, the concrete structure is all dependent on the shear wall. The only thing is the dome structure will be supported on the waffle slab below. Otherwise, all the load will go through shear wall only.
And what is happening in my dome structure there?
Sir, below is the student section, HR section, account department, and above the mezzanine floor, there is a cafeteria to have a nice view, and at the same time interactive spaces or something like that. So upper floor is the cafeteria.
So I think, Mayank, in the pros of what we saw, I think I can agree with everybody that there is a very interesting play on the facade, an attempt to create an iconic building, an interesting concept going subterranean, a lot of work on the volumetric analysis. I like the way the exploded axos come about and the way you all have shown it. I think the only takeaway from your presentation would be that maybe a little more work on the plans, the way in which you circulate. I think that's the only little advice or criticism I would give you. I think otherwise, very good job. Very interesting thought process. Very happy to see sketches. And very happy to see that you're taking a bold step and trying to make something which is a little bit out there. Good job there. Nice.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Mayank. You can stop sharing your screen. Now, okay. I would like to call team 8, Pallavi Jana from JJ School of Architecture. Pallavi. Team member from Pallavi Jana's team.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you can start your presentation now.
Yes. Ma'am, is my screen visible? Yes, it's visible. Yes, a very good afternoon, everyone. We are fourth year student from Sir JJ College of Architecture, Mumbai. My name is Vaishnavi Patil and my teammate Pallavi Jana. We both have designed Music Institute, which comes under the topic of Educational Institute. So about the design, Rhythmic Music Institute Campus Design. So the project's objective is to have a music center for the youth who are interested in learning the music and their skills, and they can develop it through their skill, and they can learn more about the music through this campus. And about the site, so the site is located in Belapur, Navi Mumbai. Total site area is 7.3 acres. The climate of this place is tropical. The site receives the wind direction from the west side.
About the site context. So we can see here in the image, the site is well surrounded by the commercial buildings and the residential building and also the institutional buildings. The topography of the site is the contour site. So there are the level difference for the site. The main advantage for the site is that it's near to the main road. So the circulation happens very easily. And then this is a site image from the topmost contour of the site. So we get the beautiful view of the cityscape. Then we studied the terrain of the site, the different levels of the site, and we tried to include in our design how the level difference happen and how the form of the building can go in the rhythmic pattern. We'll discuss in the further slide. About the design program, since it's a music institute for 300 students, so we have given a courses for the undergraduate students and for the postgraduate student in Hindustan classical music and in the modern Indian music, and also for the instrumental studios in related to the music. So yeah, next.
Next slide. Yeah, after come up with the design program, we started placing the functions on the site according to the suitable position, considering noise, visuals, and etc. And then we start thinking about their connection through circulation with each other. And then we put those random volumes and group them up to allow such monitoring, and try to give micro space to every blocks to connect with the nature. And then we simplified the circulation and placed them around a center circular space for courtyard. And the courtyard become the main focal point to our design, which will encourage students to performance their skill. And these considerations gives us a donut-shaped structure. After that, we started to cut this donut-like block and create circulation in between. And the diagram on the right shows the final placement of buildings on site. And these different colors represent different functions. And the circular green shows the spine of the campus, and the red line indicates the main axis. Next slide. Yeah, in the site plan, you can see the different entry exit, and after entrance to the campus, the vehicular roads are separated, like one for the college purpose, like for faculty and admin, and the other one directed to the auditorium. And there is separate entrance at the top for residential blocks. And the residential block is also connected with the academic block in pedestrian way. In the right side, you can see the zoom out image of central courtyard when which consists the OAT and surround with a green spine. And like the combination of ramps and stair and planters make this spine organic and creates rhythm. And the main axis which start from the pedestrian entrance and ended to the OAT at the top. Next slide. The entrance of the academic and faculty buildings, which are facing the central spine with the entrance. I will talk about that. The central spine, like the entrance of every block, like more of the block, like academic, faculty, and the canteens, which all are facing to the central spine with the entrance porch, which are at different levels. And the center circular spine is connecting all the functions, and the different level and provide viewing angle. And combined with the ramps, this pathway will universal accessibility. And the central OAT, which performance, and it is like to give everyone the stage where they can showcase their time it will act as the interaction point to them, to all among the students. Next please.
Vaishnavi, there is disturbance. Please ensure your connection, internet connection.
Like from this aerial view, you can clearly see the increasing heights of the building. In between the different levels, roof plates are story windows, which will help with the natural light and ventilation. Next slide. Yeah, we intended to make the facade very simple. Like we used alternative walls and stone clad wall with the window openings, and we used it repeatedly. And as the site is situated at the base of hillside, so there is like water drainage system is very important while designing. Like here we try to maintain the natural water flow through the is given across the central circular spine and the main axis and form the surface water flow. Yeah, which is cutting parallel to the contours, and starting from left there block, and in the middle the academic block which surrounding the central OAT. It is the auditorium block, and in second section which is cutting perpendicular to the contour line along the main axis, which start from the entrance gate and installation and running throughout the OAT and end with the pergola. Next. Here is the individual building plan of academic blocks placed on the both sides of the corridor, and it ends with a large lecture hall and the different level. On the upper floors are also provided verandas, which gives a central interactive space. Next slide. This is the view of academic block. Next slide. Yeah, this is view from the veranda of academic block towards the central courtyard. This is the another academic block. It connects the canteen block at provided an extension to the outdoor open terrace surrounding a tree and the students' indoor facilities at the upper floor. Next. This is academic block.
These are the plans of the admin and faculty block. So the plan of, and also the auditorium plan. So while designing an auditorium, we designed such that the seating of the auditorium is at the higher contour level, whereas the stage is at the lower contour level, and all the pre-functions areas are also at the higher contour level, so that the person who are entering to that area can experience the level difference that is happening on the contour. So that was the thing behind it. This is the view of the main admin room. Then these are the elevations. So here we can see how the level difference is happening, and also in the change in the volumes. There's a view of the open OAT, which was our focal point of the design. And this is a view from the deck behind the OAT. This is a main installation which is happening at the front side of the institution. This view of the installation. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, team. Qutub sir, I would like to.
Hi, Vaishnavi and Pallavi. Thank you for a nice presentation. So, yeah, I think you guys, if I'm not mistaken, mentioned that it was designed on the concept of rhythm, right? So, and that's how the form and that's how everything you started with. So, yeah, the idea seems good that you
Yes, sir.
started something on the basis of rhythm that you are talking of. Uh, when I look at the master plan, I am not sure what happened to the auditorium and the residential part, you know. Did you have time to really work on that? And, you know, that is one thing which just comes in my mind because they are just the blocks which were put there because they look a little disconnect as far as the central area is concerned. The central area is very strong, very different.
And we have no registration from Bhopal.
इंदौर
No, कोई इंदौर का कोई आया
नहीं आया है एस ऑफिस से आया था
hear you. Anuja, we can hear you.
Yeah, sorry.
So overall, very interesting as far as the institute, what is there you have concerned, you have designed. I would have loved that the auditorium or the amphitheater was slight, you know, maybe a tilt and made the auditorium also a part of it and got a connection to that. And maybe the auditorium could have been a fan shape or something, which went with the form of what the rhythm that you were talking of. Similar thing on the residential, we don't have any comments, but what you have done, I am not too sure on. So, yeah, thank you for a detailed presentation as far as the overall look and feel is concerned. It was nice. I thought work-wise, you know, there was a detailed presentation. Concept-wise, as I felt, I told you that maybe the other two things, your in the center area looks a little worked out in detail, but the other two areas looked, they have not been given so much time and preference to it. And they're not in kind of sync with the overall central area. So you could slightly work around that and see how you could fix up that into this, you know, and see how you could make it a little more cohesive in the overall this which is there. I'm not really getting into detail of how the contours have been used. I suppose you must have looked into it and you have seen that there is a minimum cut and fill which is happening, and you have taken, you're stepping, since you have stepped down the structures, you must have stepped down all along the contours which is there. And similarly, auditorium also, you must have seen that it is going along the contour and not going into the reverse manner which is there. And for sure, they have an opportunity in the residential because it's a contour site. You can really play around and make that also very rhythmic in a different manner and make it very interesting and make the whole thing more cohesive and comprehensive as far as the design is concerned. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
So dear little friends, very beautifully done design. I liked it. And overall, I think, you know, this is complementing the surrounding site as well. This is what I can anticipate. Another thing that I liked is you have defined the areas, but what you could have done, you know, one step further, you have, I'll take the same slide, you have something done with the shadows as well. So you have the, you know, shadow pattern defined. So taking a step further, you could have just added some solar panels or generating panels over the roofs which are already exposed to the sun. Secondly, this is, I think, Belapur site that you are mentioning. And
Yes.
Belapur, as a climate, if I have to see, it has the minor issue of humidity. and cross ventilation becomes one of the major strategies. Now your design and site is supporting that, but somehow that is not reflecting in any of your presentation or your drawings. So adding a few wind arrows would have made a difference. So basically garnishing is left. This is what I would say. Overall, a very good attempt. Thank you.
Yeah, I think
Thank
a
you, ma'am.
nice
We'll look
attempt.
into the points. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, nice attempt. And could you go back to the point where you spoke about universal accessibility and how you addressed universal accessibility?
Yeah. Vaishnavi, can you go to the site plan slide? Yeah, like yeah, like for this, we also like for the spine, we provide steps for like level difference, and at the same time, like from lower level, not this one, the zoom out plan. Yeah, and from step, like we provide ramp on like between planters to achieve the level difference. Actually, we didn't put any like detailed plan of it, so I think that's why it's become the problem of understanding like how they achieve. Like we put steps, and to achieve that lower level to upper level, we provide ramps on the side.
So Pallavi, I think you kind of made the comment that I wanted to make. So you used a beautiful word of universal accessibility and a phrase that is currently the flavor of the season. But how you've achieved that, or how you kind of put that across in the design, doesn't come across. So I think I'm just taking that as an example that there might be a lot of nice thoughts that I see on your slides, but they need to come across when you present. That's about it. Otherwise, a good job. Good job, girls.
Yes, so we understand. We'll look into that. Thank you.
Thanks, Vaishnavi and team. You can stop sharing your presentation. Sir, before going ahead, I would like to announce that we are done with the 8 presentation. There are 2 more presentations to go. Due to interactive question answers and the presentation will be finishing this session by 1:15 to 1:30. So I hope that's okay for the jury members.
Yes, let's run with it, Tanuja. No sweat. Let's run.
So I would like to call team 9, Manasvi Gaikar from Viva School of Architecture. Manasvi and team?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, please start your presentation. Your time start now. You have 10 minutes.
Good afternoon, jurors and everyone. Thank you, AIS, for giving us this opportunity to showcase our project on this platform. Now, coming up to our project, we are from West Zone, Team 9, and our project typology is hospitality. Myself, Manasvi Gaikar from 3rd year Viva School of Architecture, along with Prathamesh Karande, 4th year Viva School of Architecture. The name came up for our project is Anora Hills. The site is situated in India, Pune, Lavasa. We are catering the site area of 9,850 square meter. And our project typology is hospitality. Approaching to the site, the distance to the nearest railway station is 57.70 kilometer. The nearest bus stop is 1.60 kilometer. And coming to the site context, the site is located at a distance about 65 kilometers from Pune. The beautifully planned city of Lavasa is surrounded by the majestic Western Ghats.
The city is constructed in the Malshi Valley and covers a sprawling 25,000 acres. With such mesmerizing views of hills, valleys, and lakes, the city has gained immense popularity among different types of travelers. The beauty of this privately planned city lies in the seamless blend of stunning infrastructures and the enrapturing beauty of nature. Here you will find different topographical variations such as lofty Sayadri range, the beautiful rivers, and the gorgeous valleys. Also, the wind part of the site follows an eastern arc majorly from the northeast and the southeast side. The special features of the site is that it opens up to a lake and the rear side has an n number of hills. So why we selected hospitality as a topic? We believe in hospitality is about connection and not perfections. Hospitality design ultimately ends up with a single goal of creating unique and memorable experience for the people. The context plays a crucial role in conceptualizing such experiences. The lobby design that makes the first impression on guests shapes their overall image of the hotel. The guest room design and lighting come together to create an integrated experience, and the common areas substantially complete the customer experience in any hotel. As we move through many architectural types, we are attempting to create a unique and immersive experience. These variations in design contribute to keep rooms connected and create an amalgamation of feelings while passing through them.
As we talked about the site, I would like to introduce to our concept and the massing evolution for the structure. Now, our basic concept was scattered togetherness. Now, transitions acts as a breathing space for the structure. For hospitality typologies, buildings, the crucial designing agendas are entries and filling of overwhelming experiences which comes from them. The transition is a very crucial part while designing any structure, as it becomes as the user experiences the overall feel with the transition spaces. So with the transitions, it's important to create multiple entry points and ease in transitions, where the transition from one space to another is full of experiences. The spaces are planned in such a way that they are scattered and in different directions, connecting them to the central plazas, which allows the building for multiple entrances, and the hierarchy of the levels, making it even more scattered, but also creating a visual connectivity. Now, coming to the massing evolution, we can see there are 4 steps. Like after understanding the site, we considered the plot boundary and we divided it into the 2 sectors, which was the administration sector and the residential suite system. Now, in the further step, we divided and allocated the space according by scattering the spaces and also creating some central plazas for recreational activities, and also which creates multiple entrances to the structure. And in the 4th, because of the contour and the levels on the and the levels, the visual there was a visual hierarchy which also acted as an visual connectivity, which gives the view towards the lake in the southern to the roadside, which is in the southern part. Now, coming to the zoning, this is a basic zoning for our structure. Considering this is the on the southern part, we had the road. The first as we enter, we get the entrance and parking area, and after that we get to the waiting lobbies and administrations. We have the reception and baggage center, the central courtyard, which is the plaza, and also some activities center and dormitories at this place. And moving at the back side, at the residentials and suites, we can see we planned in a line the suites, and in the center we had the restaurant, and also which has the view of the lake, which has the view of the lake. Now, after designing this, we had some certain designing goals for the structure, like to provide safe environment, maintain air quality, mitigation to the climate change, cost effectiveness, innovative use of glasses, which reduces the carbon emission during construction, light pollution, and thermal comfort.
and differential use of architectural styles with immersive experiences. Now, coming from the zoning to the main site plan, we can see there are two entry and exit points which are on the south and southeastern part. At the after that, we had the parking area. As we move forward, we have the reception and baggage counter, the waiting lobbies and waiting lobby and viewing desk, the administration, the central courtyards, and a secondary gathering space, yoga spaces, and again the activities center with supporting the small dormitories on the either side. And moving forward, we have at a certain level we have an amphitheater which also raises to the rear side, which has the residential suites and the restaurant which connects in the center. And we also created an artificial pond at the rear side to give an eco resort, to give the structure an eco resort feel. Now, while planning, we also tried to understand the climatic conditions. So we oriented the structure tilted towards the northwestern side, so we can welcome the wind from the eastern arcs. And also, this tilting helps in direct contact of southern harsh light. Now, coming to the administration sector, which is also the common sector. This is the basic planning. We had an exploded diagram for it. As we enter, we have the reception and baggage center over here. We have the waiting deck, and we have the administration center, and all these parts are connected from the central plaza, which helps in transitions along with all the spaces. You can see we have tried something. With roofs. We are trying the folding patterns of the roof, which also helps in the rainwater harvesting, rainwater harvesting, and the materials also used in the structure are locally available, which are concretes. We have used cavity walls in the southern sides. Also, there are bamboo used ahead. Now, these are the designs for the suites. This is the typical design which is followed for all these suites. For example, while we enter to the suite, we have a staircase which leads to the upper deck, which is the main bedroom and the toilet area. And we have a living room, a small lounge type of a space in the lower deck. These are and also we have given a combination of canopy and roof style, which allows a maximum allowance of view, as the full window is made up of glass. And these are the views for the bedroom suites and the common area at the lower deck. This is the schematic section for the administration part. This is how we have tried to play with the contour. This is the artificial pond we have tried to make. As we move from the administration, there are different levels. This is the central courtyard, the central plaza, which allows the user to visit to different spaces. This is the suites and restaurant at the rear part. This is the amphitheater we were talking about, and as it raises ahead, it leads to the artificial pond, the restaurant, and the design suites. This is the view from another angle. This is the entrance walkway. The entrance walkway.
Last 1 minute.
This is the,
Yes.
And this is the overall view from the entrance gate. This is the folded patterns for the roof, which has the collection for rain that we can reuse for the ponds and all. Now the main is the use of glass in our structure. We have used 5 types of glasses, which is AIS color laminated glass, AIS aggregate concrete, AIS opal glass, AIS switch glass, and ceramic frit. Now the AIS color laminated glass, it is also known as the dichroic glass, which has different transmitted color into it, and it is scratch resistant, and it is a scratch resistant material. And healers believe that the dichroic glasses have the property of resonating deep within the body of an in the body, which opens up all the channels, and it gives a meditation experience. The glass aggregate concrete we have used in mainly of the spaces where we have a less load bear, and also in the compound walls, as the glass aggregate concrete gives less carbon emission up to 35%, and also the glass wastages has been used. The AIS opal glasses are the solar control glasses, which are mostly used on the roofs and on the southern facades. There the AIS switch glass. The switch glasses are mostly used in the interior sections, whereas in the it is in the toilets, it is in the receptions and areas. And the ceramic frit glasses are mostly used in the kitchen areas, in the restaurant part, as it is aesthetic, and it also it cut the cooling costs, and also reduces the light pollution, and it is friendly for the birds. Now, green buildings are known. Yeah.
Manas, you'll have to wrap.
Yeah. Green buildings are known to effectively reduce the carbon footprint and save energy. They enable the judicious use of resources and improve human productivity. As a transparent, recyclable, and energy-efficient building material, glass is an important component that makes a building green and modern buildings. Glass in the primary sources of daylight and connection to the outdoors, and impact the well-being of occupants. Thank you.
Thank you. Jury members, Qutub sir.
Yeah, can you go back to your site plan? The first site plan which you showed of the site.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this is your site plan, right?
Yes.
And what I understand from your site plan is that on the left-hand side is the lake.
Yeah, this side.
So the full arc of your site, which I am getting, is facing the lake.
What's that?
So the full arc of your site, the site has got one portion which is an arc along the road, parallel to the road.
Yes.
And that part is facing the lake, if I'm not mistaken. You know, the lake also bends along in the same direction as the road, because I can see that.
Yes.
Okay. So if I have such a beautiful water body existing, you know, why would I make an artificial pond inside? Why would I put the rooms on the rear side? If I go to any resort, if you go to Goa or you go to any resort, then if you ask for a room, what would be your first preference?
Yes.
So conceptually, firstly putting things not in the right place, and then trying to create an area for that is not the right process. First is that is what we call contextual to site. That is how we say that your design is related to your site. So the first automatic design that comes out in my mind is that my rooms have to be have to be all along the arc, so that every room is a sailable room.
Yes.
That's how my first sketch should start. After that, everything else will start. Then I start that, okay, if this is how I come and this is how my grid is going to come in, then where am I going to get my entrance? Where am I going to get my banquet halls? Where am I going to get my restaurants? And then what are the preferences? Banquet hall doesn't require the view, so it can be on the rear side. My services don't require the view, so they can be on the rear side. my back of the house, the kitchen, those things don't require, so they can be on the rear side. What I need on the front side is my reception. I need a wow factor when someone enters the reception. They need to see the lake, they need to see the this there. I need my restaurants, my bar, my cafe to be as far as possible, having a deck facing towards the lake. And I need the rooms to be facing towards the lake. Once I've got that in my basic place, then everything, my flow has to follow that. And since you have a contour, it becomes far more interesting because some rooms will be at some level and some rooms will go at the other level. So automatically it will start stepping up and it will start making it more interesting. So I'll start getting some step terraces and I'll get some more interesting forms and I'll start getting something more interesting.
Yes, sir.
So I'm not getting into the intricacies. I'm not saying that your rooms are for a different design and your suite rooms are for a different structure and your entrance gate has got a classical arch over it. I'm not looking into that. I'm not looking at that composite mixture of different styles of architecture which have been, amalgamated or you can say placed around to create a composition. I'm just talking at the concept level. That at a concept level, where would you start with? If you have something which you already have on site available to you, then that should be your first thing to start with. One thing. Second thing, out of the presentation is just a personal advice. Whenever you do a presentation, don't read it out. You need to look forward and speak what comes, what you think is your presentation. Reading a presentation does not connect with either the jury nor with anyone. So that's just a personal advice, not for now, but for future also. You should know your topic, you should know your stuff, and you should be saying it out. Thank you. All the best.
Yes, dear team, this is again a good attempt. I agree with what Qutub sir said completely for all the points. Just taking a bit, further things here. So we are talking of Lavasa and hospitality. So these kind of areas, they are full of resorts. And these people sell or do their bookings on the basis of their surroundings, because you want to be in the nature, you want to be a part of nature, experience it. So sir rightly pointed out that you already have a lake, and probably all your rooms are not really having the view or the association with that lake at all. And you'll actually find resorts which are not having such views, but they can see a far off mountain, and they will name their resort as Mountain View Resort or something like that. So you have things to your advantage which you are not exploring. Secondly, if you can just go further to views ka slide, you have 3-4 views there. So okay, just go to the previous slide of section. So yes, so creating water bodies and all is a nice concept, but the major point remains here whenever we are talking of water, that how do you get the water? And this entire region of Lavasa, I don't know how well you are aware, but the entire controversy is because of water in this area. And creating a water body, from where are you getting this water? If it's a runoff water, are you allowed to capture it, to hold it? Where is the aquifer? All these questions come up. By presenting something, the questions follow. So I feel not a very good idea here. And if you have to create a water body, maybe you should have looked at supporting the existing natural body and recharging it, or making the water flow through your entire site and reaching the lake side or something like that. Because as it is, because of the contour, the aquifer is going to lead it to the lake. So probably again making it as a swale or something like that would have been a great idea. Come to the next slide. So we have water being accumulated here in these areas, how do you maintain this water? This water cannot stay stagnant, right? And when it has to flow in adverse seasons, so what happens when it is summer, what happens when it is winter to these water bodies is an important thought, because if this starts smelling, your entire resort goes for a toss. And अगर गलती से 3 से 4 दिन पानी stagnant रह गया and anybody detects any dengue eggs, then it is closed. So you have to be very careful for such things, and you cannot do dosing of chlorine every now and then just to keep the water clean, because you also have to keep the water healthy. So that is another thing. So can you just go to the next slide? Here again, you have similar kind of columns which are floating, sort of floating in water. So also we need to understand the kind of effect water has on materials. Okay, so I think that thought needs to be taken in a deeper way. Can you just go to the next one? Yes. So here we see a lot of water in one slide, and again we are seeing a lot of hardscapes. So probably the kind of combination at the human eye level, I feel from design point of view, is very vague and disconnected. That could have been on a single language. Okay, and go to the last view. So again, this is the entrance view, the lakeside view, which is the most lucrative view of the entire project. So what I see from here is, this is again an elevated view. So if I'm standing at the roadside, probably I'm just seeing the gate and nothing else. So my friends, I think थोड़ा सा और design पे ध्यान देना चाहिए था. Overall attempt बहुत अच्छा किया है, and I'm somehow not able to relate. You have done some wooden cottages detailing.
Yeah.
So here I'm not able to relate where exactly they stand in the design. Okay, so that is, I think, your previous slide before the views and sections. Yeah, so ये वाले design of suites. So ये कहाँ relate हो रहे हैं वो थोड़ा ध्यान में नहीं आ रहा है. Sure. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, ma'am. Rahul sir.
So guys, Manasvi and team, quick question since we're on this slide. What prompted you all to go for this form? What was the inspiration to going for this form?
So actually we were thinking on different styles, like mix of contemporary and some futuristic designs and all, which can means there was a contour and there is an elevation to a certain height, matlab jidhar se, from where the design suite can overlook the lake which is present on the roadside. So we were thinking of elevating the suits also and having some mix of designs.
So again, I think your answer is self-explanatory. Intent-wise, if you go back to one of your 3Ds which was showing the gate, exactly what you said is what is happening to your project here. You are seeing a mix of maybe 2 or 3 languages, correct?
Yes.
Which is either saying that the two of you divided the work between you all, or if this has happened across as an intent, your language of architecture is not coming together. Simply put, your gate and your compound seem to be in a different language. The following building is in a different language, and then when you go back to your elevated suites, that's a different language. They don't seem to kind of come together at any point. So that is one of the concerns that I can see. I think everyone's spoken about the context, and that's the whole thing. You're in a beautiful location like Lavasa. Why would you look inwards when you've got a lake facing side, right? So you all have gone about creating an experience for an inward looking resort, and that is typically done when you have no context. So addressing our context is the main thing. You've chosen a wonderful site, but you've not done justice to that selection. And when once you all have gone forward, that lack of clarity in terms of thought is seen in the architectural design, in terms of the circulation, as well as the language. So I think my only suggestion to you all would be that talk more, try to get a cohesive output as a team, so that your structure also speaks in the same language. I think the other two jurors have well encapsulated the concerns. On a brighter note, I think your attempt to presentability, etc., is nice. The attempt to the section was nice. Interesting use of tools and graphics. But as far as architectural design goes, I think just kind of put your heads together a little more.
Thank you.
Thanks, Manasvi. You can stop sharing your screen. I would like to call last stream from West Zone, Madhura Shelar from Viva School of Architecture. Madhura, you can start sharing your screen.
Yes.
Your time starts now. You have 10 minutes. All the best.
So, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for having us here. We are from the West Zone, rethinking, and am I visible? Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for having us here. We are from the West Zone, from the College Viva School of Architecture, and the topic is rethinking of educational institute, catering secondary schools. So the design flow of the project was the study of the pre and post COVID scenario, the preliminary analysis of the site, and what can be the goals and what can we achieve through it. Then setting a design goal from the project, can we get what we can provide to the user. And then designing a concept through it and plan according for the user. So, as rightly said by Vividoshi sir, that a campus leaves an impression on the one's life who was studying there, and to help and discover a new point of view towards the learning process. So the first pre-COVID scenario was there where the built. We know that the built environment can impact child's and children's social connection with certain design elements such as use of classroom and other spaces, promoting socializing between every person in the campus. So COVID brings the scenario like the schools were shut down and everyone was at home and learning on the online basis like we are doing now. So after the post-COVID situation, there are more requirements of the hygienic spaces, interactive learnings, and the interactive spaces too much needed there. So at we choose the site is in Haryana, Gurgaon. First, the Gurgaon, Haryana is the education, we can call as the educational hub, which is second tier city, where the literacy rate is 76.64% in all over India. And the Gurgaon is the most important city in the Haryana, the major economical and academic hub. That's why we chose the Gurgaon. And it has an environment, eco-friendly environment as compared to the New Delhi. In the site analysis, the site is located at the sector 33 in Gurgaon. The area of the site is 10,000 square meters. Prevailing climate in the Gurgaon is known as the local steppe climate. There is a rainfall through the year. The temperature averages from 24.9 Celsius. The precipitation is about 670 mm. In the site context, the nearby landmarks of the site is the first, which is Yaduvanshi Shiksha Niketan School. The second is the Vilas Gurgaon Unitech Group. The third one is Unitex of Residence. And the fourth one is Soha Gurgaon.
and Samiti Hospital and the Universe Resorts. The further slides will be explained by my other team member, Mayuri.
Talking about design goals, before starting the concept and coming to the conceptual part, our initial thought about the project was to make the structure, how will the structure of this of the secondary school stand out in the surrounding, and how it will blend into the nature. So considering the current COVID scenario and implying the spaces so that the student and teacher can feel safe and can have healthy learning environment. So during this process, we did various researches about the interactive gathering spaces in different schools and various proposals, and few interesting things we jotted in this slide, which we liked and which we thought about incorporating into our designs. And likewise, how the interactive space should be into our design was thought. So coming to the conceptual idea, the concept which we worked and thought about was the line dot curve, and how the school building will evolve and how the spaces will be interactive when the user, like the school children, will use the gathering spaces, the corridor spaces, is what we thought about. And yeah, a few sketches which we did while thinking about this concept of line dot curve. As the famous line goes, the straight line belongs to man, the curved line belongs to God. And on this concept, we further developed a design. So when the conceptual planning was done in different stages, where we analyzed the wind direction and the sun path, we tried to create different green pockets into the site, how the structure will blend into the surroundings, and all those things was thought. When a school kid will enter a site, how will he park the cycle, and all those user defined spaces was thought initially, and this is what made our design go. Coming to the planning of the India, the plan was on the basis of concept.
Madhura, we can't hear you.
Hello. Am I audible?
Yeah, now you are.
There's some connection issues at our side. I'm not able to see the slides which my friend is sharing. Just a second. Hello.
Yeah, please reshare.
Just a second.
Yeah, now we can see.
So coming to the plan, Is my screen visible?
Yes, your screen visible, you're audible. You have 2 minutes.
About the ground floor plan, it was as simple as we thought about the concept about line dot curve, and we came across this form, keeping it simple and enhancing the windows where we can use the glasses. So our main design goal was, like I said earlier, that the design is our design should be a clear statement where the internal arrangement is organized in the structure, and that will mirror the activities of the school inside out. So this was thought and our plan was designed, and we kept it ground plus first floor, and interlocking the spaces, we created few elevations, and we are still working on this conceptual ideas where how can we use the glass and the natural material so that the design will be incorporated into the surroundings and the natural environment. So yeah, the few sketch views and how the school can be. So I'm running through the slides of keeping it simple, minimalist, and how the interactive spaces will be. The details where we have used the details and all will be explained by the further group member.
So talking about the sustainable features. Next slide, please. So coming up to the sustainable features, the first thing we used is the...
You have last 1 minute to wrap up, please.
Yeah, ma'am. So the first thing we made use of is the green roof. Green roof plays a very crucial role in order to achieve the sustainability, as it reduces the temperature of the roof surface and also removes the heat from the air as well. Using green roof in such location with limited vegetation can moderate the heat island effect, particularly during the daytime. Another material we used is the type of glass is the coated glass. We made use of two types of coated glass. The first is the double layer, which is for the glass partition, which reflects the external heat and maintains the cool environment inside. And the second one is the triple layer glass for the windows, which holds a quality of sound resistance along with the heat resistance. Now talking about the other materials, blending along with the glass are the bricks, the limestone panel cladding, the slates. The main reason of using these materials along with the glass is these materials are locally available, and as well as which helps in making the structure cost effective as well.
So the conclusion of the project was by giving some thoughtful consideration to the overall design of the school, to building upfront, to increase the livelihood of the institute and create the community effectively, and serve the community effectively for the years to come. Thank you.
So hi, thank you for a nice presentation. Can we go to the site plan? No, previous to this, the site plan. So first thing I didn't understand the connection between line, dot, and curve to your design. One part.
Second part, what is the program of your school? And if there's, is this program, is this in a village, near a village, it's near a town, are people, students, how many classrooms are there? Are students going to come by school buses? If they are going to come by school buses, I just want to see your site plan. Your site plan had no provision for all those things. So what is it, you know? So can you go to the next plan which is there? There was a site plan prior to this. There was a site plan which showed the overall site with this curved structures inside. And you had some cycle parking there. I want to see that plan which is there. Yeah, this was there. So I don't see any, I just see the classrooms. I don't see any infrastructure. I don't see anything in this. I just see two curves of classrooms put there. I fail to understand what are you making? And then when I see your drawings are also very incomplete, but okay, I'm not getting into that part. But can you explain me, besides just the curve, the green pocket and the curve, what is it that you're making? You know, suddenly I see a swimming pool. So for which level of students is the school? And if it is there, what is there? I don't see any matter in this school. So if you can explain, it will be nice because I have not really understood the school per se from your side.
Yes, sir. So sorry, we are disconnected with the network issues. The school is for the secondary school, which is from 4th to 10th. Then it is for the students from number.
So if it is from 4 to 10, how many floors it is, how many classrooms it is, how are the students coming? That's what I asked you. And where is the admin area? Where is the cafeteria? Where is the dining? Where are the ancillary areas? Where is the bus parking? How will they come here?
Sir, the connectivity from this by they can come from by cycle or bus. The bus parking is provided.
I didn't see anything. If I missed out something, you can tell me. I just saw cycle parking. That's why I asked you.
Yes, sir. There is cycle parking.
You are
bus
talking
parking.
Standard to 10 standard means you're talking of 6 standards with 3 classrooms each. So about 18, 20 classrooms you're talking of. So that many students are not going to come by cycle. Are they? Is there a village next to? Is this next to a village? What is it, madam?
Sorry, sir. Can you repeat?
If they are coming by cycle, if everyone is coming by cycle, is this in a rural area?
No, sir. It's not in a rural area, but sir.
Please, I'm not saying that people can't come by cycle in this, but considering you know, the roads, the traffic, the harsh climate of Haryana, even in the summers, during its winters and summers, are the students going to come by cycle, or what do you propose? I don't understand. I'm not.
So there is bus parking provided, sir.
I didn't see it here, so I was asking you that. Okay, and you gave a concept of line, dot, and curve. What was the connection between line, dot, and curve here?
So the lines belong, the facade belongs to the lines. 2 minutes, sir.
Mayuri and Manasvi will need to wrap as early as possible.
Okay, madam, thank you. Thank you so much.
So from my side, I strongly feel you guys started with something, and probably you are still short of doing the work. आप लोगों का काम complete नहीं हुआ है. So this is what can be seen. There's a lot of things that need to be incorporated here, and I think yeah, what we can also see from the design and the presentation is there's a lot of communication required between the team as well. So I think an interesting thing that has come up, but probably it has not taken the shape. So I think you guys need to work more on this. Of the thought of post-pandemic institutes was really nice, and I think a lot of things can be explored here. So all the best. Thank you.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah, thanks, ma'am.
Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Am I- Actually, we were. Hello.
Yeah, quick.
Actually, we were on the initial stage, so we didn't gone through that much level of process, and we didn't have that much communication, which you said earlier. It was right.
Okay. Rahul sir, is there any comments?
So I won't kind of say anything much. I think the jurors have said enough. I would just say that kind of next time you do a competition, better teamwork, better communication, I think you'll probably see a better product come out.
Yes, sir, for sure.
Thanks, sir. Now I would like to ask Qutub sir to address students and say a few words about his own experience for this contest and to provide advice or guidance to the students for better tomorrow.
So thank you, Anuja. Thank you all the participants. Thank you everyone for putting in so much of your effort. Thank you for your time. And thank you for some real nice presentations, some real nice thoughts. I would just like to say like this, guys, we are all looking forward, we are all looking towards you all. You all are the next gen, and we are looking forward to seeing you guys have a super opportunity with the country developing, and you all are going to get a great platform to express yourself. And architecture is everything about expressing yourself. And if you are not able to express yourself boldly, clearly, crisply, it is not going to help you. So my advice to all you young guys is be bold, be expressive, and be passionate about what you're doing. Don't just do it because you have to do it. If you are doing it, put in your heart, put in your soul, and do it. And whatever effort you put in today and whatever concepts you can think of, trust me, in the next 5 years to 10 years, you will dream of it and you will be able to do it. So there is a large platform available, but do it, yeah. Don't just touch to certain factors and come back. Go holistically, come up with new ideas, come up with new concepts, and see how you can make these concepts turn into reality. Give your 100%, be passionate, and give your best. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your words. I hope that will help students and everybody to, in their respective careers. So going ahead, we will, everybody, all the jury members will get pop-up on a screen for breakout session where we'll be able to discuss evaluation sheets to declare winner and runner-ups.
Students, just hold on. We'll announce the winners right away. 5 minutes.
Comes to your mind when you think of a factory? The usual brick and mortar building with a metal roof? What if we said that factories could look different, livelier and beautiful, and yet be cost effective and energy efficient? Glass isn't a common building material for factories. But at AIS, we have made it possible with our modern and sustainable glass solutions. Welcome to the AIS Auto Plant in Patan, Gujarat, a world-class manufacturing unit which epitomizes sustainability. This factory is reinforcing our vision of green buildings as it is aiming for LEED Gold rating standards, making it unique and next-gen factory of the future. Spread across 49 acres of land, 55,000 square meters of this area is built up, and the remaining is a lush urban forest. AIS is taking every step to maintain the natural vegetation and ecological balance of the surroundings. AIS is committed to sustainability and reducing carbon footprint. Hence, an analysis was done on the hot and dry climate of the site, and then a detailed study was done for finalizing the glasses which would be used on the buildings. After thorough evaluation, we narrowed down to solar-controlled thermal insulation high-performance glasses, which would help us in optimal energy usage in the buildings. Our high-performance AIS EcoSense Exceed range is used right from our security room and admin office to our R&D center, canteen, and laminated plant to achieve desired aesthetics, energy efficiency, and optimal daylighting. The high-performance properties of AIS EcoSense offers a perfect balance between the outdoors and indoors, keeping interiors cool, bright by allowing optimum natural light inside and reducing solar heat ingress, thereby reducing electricity consumption. We have deployed a combination of solar control low E, and solar control thermal insulation glasses, depending on the orientation of the buildings and typology of the blocks. All this was done also keeping in mind the aesthetic appeal of all the spaces. In all the interiors, we have used safety solutions like AIS Strong Glass, which is 5 times stronger than normal annealed glass and is highly impact resistant, making it an appropriate glass for interiors. So welcome to the era of factories of future, built with sustainable glass solutions, which allows you to step into a greener world. We will continue to stay committed to this ideology and promote green architecture in all our upcoming buildings and factories. Come, join us in this mission. When you think glass, think AIS.
Hi everyone, I'm at the AIS Windows Experience Center today in Delhi, and this is the first of its kind phygital experience center, which means physical as well as digital. And apparently this showroom has won a very important award in the US in the VMSD Awards for the way every product has been displayed and is explained so well. So I can't wait to see everything, how it works and how it's been displayed. Let's take a tour. As I enter, I come to this AIS brand sanctum space, which is where you get an idea of the legacy of AIS, its extensive range of products. AIS Asahi Glass India is a leading manufacturer of components in the auto and glass industry, which are used in homes and offices and hotels and every kind of architectural application as well as interior design. AIS Windows offers a comprehensive range of solutions for windows and doors in aluminum as well as UPVC. And there are such interesting products, and I'm dying to see each one of them and see how they actually work against water, against noise, against pollution. So let's take a look one by one at each one of these interesting products and see how they actually work. So let's have some fun with this. This is the most amazing product. Look at this. Now you see me, now you don't. Now you see me, now you don't. This is called the switch glass. So this is the most amazing thing because it allows you to get privacy when you want. It allows you to have visibility when you want. And it is the most stunning technology that can be incorporated with glass in anything from a cabin to even a bathroom to any kind of space. It is absolutely amazing that you just switch it on, switch it off. You have complete privacy or you have complete visibility. I love this. It's called switch glass. All of us in India face this problem of noise. Now just look at what this window does. This is a window. I'm opening it and you can hear all the traffic noise and this mad, crazy noise outside. And the moment you shut it, no noise. So this is a window which cuts down 45 decibels of noise inside. It is a double laminated glass which has an acoustic PVB layer inside, and this helps control the noise. So just imagine you got this crazy noise happening outside, but the moment you shut the window, it is absolutely silent inside. Beautiful. Now we come to the next set of windows. These are insulated windows and these are double glazed, and this cuts down the heat from the outside to the inside. If I was to step outside right now, it is 34 degrees outside, but I don't feel a thing inside. And double glazed windows are really important in cutting down the heat reduction and thereby making your house or your office energy efficient. You cut your electricity bills by literally 40% simply by using glass like this. Now we do another really important test on windows. Everywhere we have so much heavy rainfall, especially in the western parts of India, and invariably you have water leakages happening everywhere. Now I'm going to do a water test on this window to see what happens. That's the rainwater falling from the outside. And you can see that not a single drop has even come into the channel. Everything is going straight out. So what this window is doing is, by calculation, it is draining 2 liters of water per minute per square meter. And that is amazing. This is the perfect window to keep all rainwater out, however heavy the rainfall is. Look at these. I love these bay windows. For all of us, so many of us in India live in small homes, and this is a perfect solution to create that little extra space. You step the window out, and it's a like beautiful bay window, which you get in various finishes, and you can tilt and turn and open both these windows on the side, and you have this amazing place where you can sit, you can chill, you can read a book, and you have storage below. I love this. So a lot of times in sliding windows, which are large, like this one is, you have water leakages, but here the technology is a slide and lift window. So this is completely airtight and sealed. When you want to open it, now it has lifted up from the bottom, you slide it open, and then you can lock it in its place again. So the window has again gone down. And this is only a 4 feet by 7 feet panel, but this is available to go as wide as 8 feet and 10 feet high. And that is huge. A single shutter of 8 feet width, 10 feet height, seamlessly opens, and you can actually feel the outdoors integrating with the inside without any visible obstruction. Here is another interesting range, which is called the slide and fold. In this, what happens is you have one panel on the side, which is openable on a regular basis. And whenever you want, you can open up the entire balance portion. Here, this is the slide and fold portion, which is only 2 panels, but you can go all the way up to 8 panels. So if you have a large balcony or a terrace, on a normal basis, you simply open one door, but whenever you want, you can actually open up the entire panel like this. So you can keep the whole thing open and you can seamlessly integrate 2 rooms, an office partition, or a space, a window going out towards a balcony or terrace. Beautiful product. Here we come to a problem that in India, a lot of people face: mosquitoes. What do? So in this case, within the same channel, you can open the glass window, but there is a mosquito net, which is on a separate panel, and you can shut that. So during twilight or during those times when mosquitoes tend to come inside the house, you are fully protected. And at the same time, you're yet open to natural ventilation. If seeing all those products is not enough and you still think that you need something to decide and something to help you, you come to the design studio.
Most jury members.
This VR experience allows you to
Yeah, hello.
So hi everyone, this is architect Mandviwala Qutub. Thank you all for your presentations. We have gone through everything, and the jury has finally come down to the conclusion. So I won't take much of your time. So the runner-up for the Western region is Saki Bharati from Sir J.J. School of Architecture. And the winner for the West Zone is Mayank Pokar from the Parul Institute of School. Congratulations, both of you guys, and all the best for the national level. And to the remaining consultants, you guys have done very well. There's a lot to take away from this competition, and I wish you all the best for the next time and for the future endeavors. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you so
host, I
much.
would request you to show that certificate if you can.
Stop the video.
Anshul ma'am, I would congratulations, winner. Anshul ma'am, I would like to request you to declare first runner-up.
Anuja, I think sir is already doing that, so let him continue.
Yeah, Qutub sir, I would like to request you to please declare the winner. Sorry, the runner-up.
So the runner-up for the West Zone, this is a combined effort from all the three jury members, from my Anuja, Rahul, and myself, and we have added our points. So the runner-up for the West Zone is Saki Bharati from Sir J.J. School of Architecture. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, yes, sir. Congratulations, Saki and team.
Saki Bharati, runner-up from Sir J.J. School of Architecture for the West Zone. And the winner for the West Zone is Mayank Pokar from the Parul Institute of School. Congratulations to both you guys. All the best for the national level. And to all the other candidates, more effort, and wish you all the best to take away from this competition, and wish you all the best for your future endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. We have institutional sales business head with us to address all the jury members and say thank you note to all.
Yes, Anuja, I hope I'm audible.
Yes, sir, you're audible, and I could see your screen.
Okay, yeah, I think we have overshot the time. So, but on behalf of AIS, I would like to congratulate all the winners and all the participants. I'm sure that whatever feedback you got and whatever experience will take along with your career. And on behalf of AIS, I would like to extend my thanks to all the jury members and for their feedback and being part of this journey. I'm sure that the students as well as the audience will learn a lot from your feedback and your guidance and support. On behalf of AIS, I would like to extend my thanks to the principals, faculty members, and the audience who are present. Look forward to see you again in the finale as well as in the other events too. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
We will start central zone on the same link. If you want, you can exit. You can exit the screen.